Velko with a 10, that's definitely in.
Velko also looking for his first medal in international competition. And he gets himself off to a good start. And now Makrinsky. Solid 9 right there. So we're basically back to where we started just moments ago.
Well, it could be not because of Ukraine's first shot. It could be a 9 or a 10.
That's true.
So it could be tied or a 1-point lead. But Pelez on the line again.
Pelez, 28 years old, ranked 42nd in the world.
8 points up high.
Now Alcala, who was strong on the World Cup archery circuit last summer.
9 points.
Tranquilo.
In fact, Alcala wound up finishing 6th at the World Cup finals in Istanbul. Now Serrano, who was ranked as high as 4th in the world back in 2007, and shows why right there.
I've shot against Serrano I've shot against him a lot, and I know how strong he can be as a competitor, and when the pressure's really on, I know that he can really turn it up and shine, so we'll see what happens for the rest of this match. But Victor Rubin, I know that he can really turn it on when he needs to, so, I mean, there it is. It's a 10 right there.
And when you say strong, you mean strong mentally.
Strong mentally and physically.
Velko ranked 51st in the world. And he shoots a 10. So an 8 or better, and the Ukraine will take this first end.
9 points.
So there's a 2-point lead right off the get-go.
Possibly a 3-point lead.
Possibly, you're right.
Asterisks, but we'll see what happens after official scoring has taken place.
So time for the officials to look things over and check everything out. We'll find out whether that is a 9 or a 10. As the team from Mexico looks on anxiously. And I'm sure the same thing is on their minds.
They're probably wondering who's got what score down there and how many points do we have to catch up, or
are we down by 1? Are we down by 2?
Exactly.
And in a sport like this, where it is such close and tight competition, every arrow counts. So there's that 9 asterisk you see on the very first arrow of the match for the team from the Ukraine. They will have either 57 or 58 points. And they look on anxiously as well. The target's so much smaller. Of course, you're so much closer, but they've made that target even smaller for you.
Yeah, the 10 ring here is 4 centimeters in diameter. So from 18 meters away, that can start to look pretty small. But again, you are that much closer, and if you can perform a good shot, and make sure that your shot is complete, you finish your shot, you've come through the clicker smooth, then you're going to start really rolling out the 10s, which is what you need in this indoor sport.
So even with that smaller target, you're much closer to the target, and of course, obviously we're indoors in a climate-controlled environment. You don't have all those other factors to worry about as well. That makes up a little bit for it, doesn't it?
A little bit, but still, you have to be able to perform a good shot, or else you'll see 9s and 8s start to come out.
Which we have seen in the first 2 matches.
That can be detrimental to your score. So shooting a lot of 10s in the indoor circuit is obviously it's your goal for any type of archery, but it's so important in the indoor season because anybody is beatable.
So Mexico knows they've scored 55 out of a possible 60. The only question that remains right now is the scoring for the team from the Ukraine. And it appears to be a 10 now.
8, yep. So
they changed it to a 10.
Been scored and officially confirmed. It is a 2-point lead for the team from Ukraine. Team Mexico will be shooting first on target number 1.
So the team from Mexico down by 3 arrows after the first end. Not the start they had hoped for. trailing 58 to 55. And a 9 to start off the second end for Mexico. Shot by Velez. Now Pedro Vivas Alcala with his first shot of the second end. Again, another left-hander. And that one's on the line, but a 10.
Still another strong guy here, Pedro is. And he's been really rolling up the ranks through these past couple of years. And veteran Serrano, see if he can shoot a 10.
Serrano won a silver medal at the 2006 Pan Am Games, bronze medal at the 2007 World Cup in Antalya. As you mentioned already, was fourth in Beijing in 2008 at the Summer Games. So a 9-10-9 for Mexico. The Ukraine will try to build on its 3-arrow lead. And that will help.
Definitely help Team Ukraine, and Victor Rubin showing why he is the team for the 2008 Olympic champion. Although that was outdoors, this is indoors, but he has one of the more solid shots that is out there on the circuit.
He's able to translate it from outdoors to indoors, huh?
Exactly.
Pavelko. And Pavelko was apparently, well, they're going to give him a 10.
Give him a 10. It looked like it was on the line.
That's what I thought, Kristen.
Here. But again, if it's on the line, then that means it's in. But if it's just out of the line, obviously, then he's not going to get that score.
No question about that.
That's definitely a 10. Very good shot from Orkunsky.
So 3 straight 10s. Bullseye, bullseye, bullseye for the team from the Ukraine, which is keeping the pedal to the metal, as we say here in the States, and keeping the pressure on the team from Mexico.
It's another 9 from Velez. A little high. I think he might just be a little tense and not as relaxed and as smooth on his shot that he usually is.
Alcala will try to pick things up for Mexico.
Another 9. It's in the same hole as his shot from before. So whatever he's doing there, it's consistent.
He's grouping.
Yeah, exactly.
Just not inside the 10 ring.
He's grouping, but not in the right spot.
I know that feeling.
9 or 8. It's close to call from here, but the spotters have called it definitely a 9.
So the door wide open for Victor Rubin and the rest of his team from the Ukraine.
Another 10 from Victor Rubin.
Going for the jugular.
I think they're going for a 60 here, so 2 more 10s will give them a 7-point unofficial lead, which would be a really cool thing to see.
Pavelko. Great shot of his arrow.
Coming through the clicker, which indicates when to fire the arrow, and that's another 10. As soon as that click sounds off on the bow, each archer has been trained to let go of the string, to basically relax their fingers. And that's another 10. That looks like a 60 for Ukraine.
So perfection for the team from the Ukraine. And high fives, big smiles on their faces here in Las Vegas as midway through this match, they've taken a commanding lead.
But we have to remember that 60 is unofficially a 60. We have to get the judges up there to score those arrows to make sure that that is in fact 6 10s in a row, because it could change potentially, but we're going to see what happens after scoring.
Look of dejection on the faces of the Mexican competitors. They know the situation they've put themselves in through these first 2 ends. They were down by 2 after the first end, and now trail, if everything holds up, by 7 arrows. Unofficially, it's 118 to 111. And the team from the Ukraine has only missed a possible 2 points so far in the first 2 ends after shooting those 12 arrows.
And funny enough, these 2 points, even if they shoot 10s for the rest of the match, they still don't break the world record. The world record is 1 point down. It's 239 out of 240. So the Ukraine has already is
Well,
already
they lost
not,
that opportunity.
Yeah, exactly.
So they'll have to settle for a bronze medal at the very least, if this holds up.
Well, it is the Ukraine that holds the world record, so I don't think that they're all that displeased.
Good look at the setting here at the South Point Hotel and Casino as we get set for the third end of this match, this men's recurve team bronze medal match in Las Vegas. 7-arrow lead for the Ukraine, or a 7-arrow deficit if you're looking at it from the Mexican standpoint, but a 10 right there to start off the third end by Velez.
It's a very good shot from Velez to open up this third end.
And we've seen it before. It can be contagious. Somebody starts to shoot well, and then his teammates pick up on that. But a 9 right there by Alcala.
Brazo, fuerte brazo.
And now Serrano.
10 or 9, too close to call. That'll have to be called by the judge.
10 y ahí está líneas. 10 y 9.
6 straight 10s by the Ukrainians
Pedro, ¿sí?
in that second end. We'll see if they can keep the streak going right here. And that breaks the streak.
Oh, too bad.
They have a little cushion,
say?
though.
Yeah, they've got an 8-point lead. Well, if they shoot 10s on this, they can have a potential 8-point lead. But I think they've given themselves a little bit of a buffer to shoot some 9s here. But just because they have given themselves a buffer doesn't mean that they have to actually use it. But I'm pretty sure we're going to see some 10s rolling out from Team Ukraine very soon.
You see it in a lot of sports. Teams will get up, and they pull back a little bit. Well, there's a 10. So Makrinsky rights the ship right there for the Ukrainian team after they fired a couple of 9s on their first 2 arrows of this third end. And it's back to Mexico now. Mexico coming in ranked 12th in the world.
10 or 9, too close to call again.
Good shot by Velez, who was 9th at the Olympic test event in London last fall, 9th at the Pan Am Games. Alcala on the line, but a 10.
Brazo, deja brazo.
Serrano, 10 or 9. I think it's a 10 touching the line. A little high, but
that finally brings a smile to his face. So potentially there's 4 10s in that end for the Mexican team. They'll have either 57 or 58 points when all is said and done.
10 points for Victor Rubin yet again.
Rubin relentless. The 31-year-old archer who was #1 in the world back in 2010. Now his teammate Havelko. Another 10. And Makrinsky, who's been ranked as high as 74th in the world back in 2006. And he finishes off that end with a 9. So 3 9s, 3 10s in that end for the Ukrainian team, which had that cushion of 7 arrows after the second end. And now unofficially maintain that 7-arrow lead, 146 to 139.
We're going to see with a couple arrow calls that potentially could be made here. If Mexico indeed tied the Ukraine over this end with 57 points.
Interestingly enough, these teams have not met in the last 5 years. Mexico was the bronze medalist in 2009 in the indoor championships. Serrano's the only athlete remaining from that team. But the Ukraine right now, the commanding lead, as the judges inspect the targets, inspect the arrows, make sure that the scoring is precise. And when you reach this level, you want to make sure there are no mistakes. So 57 points, it appears, unless we have a change here.
Well, we can see the judge again pulling the magnifying glass out and looking at one of those arrows on the target. Again, this could be the difference between 1 or 2 point, a tie on this end or a 1 point lead.
Not going to affect the overall match standing.
Not
very
really.
much.
It's still, it could be a 7 point lead or it could be a 6 point lead. It will be determined after official scoring has completed.
Either way, you want to be in the shoes of the guys in the right there wearing the blue uniform.
Exactly.
That's a little bit more comfortable position to be in right now. And obviously for the team from Mexico, they know the situation, they know the score. They've been to this rodeo before.
But for Team Ukraine, shooting that 60 in the second end definitely helped a whole bunch, because that can also kind of demoralize your competitors. But we'll see how strong Mexico is mentally.
That was what was impressive to me about the team from Japan in our previous match. Even though they fell behind, they had great spirit and kept the pressure up. Wound up losing by 5 to the team from the United States, but we'll see how strong the constitution is of the Mexican archers right here. Trailing by 7 as we go down the stretch in the 4th and final end here in Las Vegas at the World Archery Indoor Championships. And a 9 for Velez.
I think he's very happy with himself because he knows he can do better. Let's see what Pedro Vivas Alcala do. Under 10.
And Alcala does do better. Alcala captured a bronze medal at stage 4 in Shanghai last year. So he's used to the international stage, as is Serrano. And Serrano, dead center.
Can't get any better than that.
That's got to be such a great feeling when you nail it that way.
And you know that it's going to be a good shot as soon as the string leaves your fingers and you get rewarded with seeing that arrow flying directly to the center of the target. It's a great feeling.
Victor Rubin knows it well. And experiences it again.
What if he gets bored shooting 10s?
Have you asked him?
I know I don't get bored, but for a guy who shoots them as often as he does, however, I highly doubt it.
Another 10. The Ukrainians dialed in here in this match with Mexico in the men's recurve team bronze medal competition. And Yaroslav Mokrinsky. That is some shooting, my friend.
I don't know what the Ukraine has eaten for breakfast this morning, but they're definitely putting it down to the Mexicans with a 7-point lead unofficially, going into the final 3 arrows for this match.
It's all about pride right now as Velez lines up his final shot of the day.
There he goes with the 10.
Velez has been competing internationally for 9 years. This young man, Alcala, coming on the scene now, ranked 8th in the world. And he's finishing up strong.
It's a 10 or a 9 too close to call, but we'll see what Serrano can pull out for his final shot. Still might not be enough to catch up to Team Ukraine because of the projected 7-point lead. 9 points will not do it, though.
So unofficially, Mexico finishes with 57 points in this end. At 56 in the first end, 55 in the second end. 57 unofficially here in the fourth end.
Now, all Ukraine really has to do is put these last 2 arrows in the gold and guaranteed they're going to win this bronze medal. Won't be that hard of a feat for them to do. Here's the first step.
Pavelko has done a nice job today for the Ukrainian team. As has Mokrinsky.
Mokrinsky just has to hit the target in the scoring rings, and
it's over.
And it's over.
Shut it down. It's over. They can go home now. And they'll go home with the bronze medal from the World Archery Indoor Championships here in Las Vegas. Very workmanlike performance by the Ukrainian team.
They've got a very good work ethic. They don't really get too overexcited while it's happening, and they can keep a straight face, and I guess a poker face here in Vegas. And I mean, to be able to focus on the task at hand and know what your role is as you shoot for this medal is a really important skill to have.
Well, it's such a different setting from what you've been in all week. You've been in the exhibition hall over there, and half of the hall is carpeted, half of it has cement. I know that affects the lighting. Then you come in here, and you're on basically a stage, shooting at the targets on another stage, and there's music playing, the lights are on. We always say that about athletes. It's what you do when the lights are on.
Yeah.
And the folks are watching, and there's people in the stands, and how you come through in these pressure moments. And the Ukrainian team did that, performed beautifully today.
Well, I have to admit, seeing the venue here for the first time, I was kind of feeling bad for not being able to shoot on this field, but it's a very, very nice field to be able to shoot on.
So Mexico 226 out of 240. For the Ukraine, 234 out of 240. They missed on 6 arrows. Not too bad, not too shabby. And a great performance, and the Ukraine wins rather handily in this men's recurve team bronze medal match. So the 8th ranked team in the world coming on top of the 12th ranked team in the world. So far today, we have seen the Italian team winning by 2 points in the women's recurve team bronze medal match. In the women's gold medal match, the USA won by 5, and in the men's recurve bronze medal match for teams, it's the Ukrainian team coming out on top. Now we go to the gold medal match, and it will be the USA taking on Russia. And there's the team from the United States, led out by Brady Ellison, Jake Kaminsky, and Vic Wonderly out there as well. The Americans defeating the Turkish team 233 to 229, and then the Mexican trio by 5, 236 to 231. There's Victor Wonderly on your right. Excuse me, on your left. Jake Kaminsky on your right, excuse me, and Brady Ellison in the center. Brady Ellison, #1 in the world, although he was upset this week.
By Jake Kaminsky.
By Jake Kaminsky. Now they'll team up and try to work together. But those two went at it in head-to-head competition, and Jake is the one who will get to the individual gold medal match a little bit later on today. So there's the Russian Federation.
Badanov on the left. Cerempolov.
Olympian and European champion Belgitima Cerempolov.
Looking very happy to be here.
So Badanov, Borodin, and Cerempolov, the 3 for the Russian Federation. These two countries very well represented here today at the Indoor Championships. In fact, we'll be seeing more archers from the United States and Russia than any of the other countries here today. And as we said, Team USA on target #1, defeating the Turkish team in the quarterfinals, the Mexican team in the semifinals. Russia had a close one with Japan in the quarterfinals, winning at 228 to 226. A little bit more breathing room for the Russian team in the semifinals as they beat the team from the Ukraine 227 to 219. So Brady Ellison, #1 in the world last year, won the gold medal at the World Cup finals in Istanbul. Straddles the line and
just tall,
fires a 9. Now Jake Kaminsky, ranked 14th in the world, 23 years old. coming off a big win earlier this week here in Las
Nice
Vegas
shot.
over his teammate Brady
Inside
Ellison.
the line at
What a
4
good
o'clock.
shot
Good
for
shot.
Jake.
Nice shot, Vic.
I saw Jake's tie-breaking arrows when he had to shoot them for his individual matches, and man, that kid can put them in the middle. So I won't be surprised if Jake can
Nice shot, Vic.
close out this
Just
whole
on top
match
of
with
Spider. Good
hands.
job.
Victor Wunderlich putting it in the middle as well. Victor won a silver medal at the 2000 Summer Games in Sydney, so very experienced on the world stage.
Unfortunately, U.S. has dropped 1 point already, so the best they can do is tie the world record. But, I mean, we're not going to be watching for that anyway. We're just watching for whose medal is whose. Or which medal is whose.
So a 10 for Russia to start the day off. Cerempolov with the 10. Now Borodin.
10 will tie.
It's up to Barabanov.
Hey, Brady, go get him.
Each team with a pair of 10s and 1 9. And Brady Ellison, who shot that 9, will try to make up for that right here with a 10. Out of Arizona, now training at the Olympic Training Center in San Diego.
Finish up here at 5 o'clock. Good shot, Jake.
Another 10 for Jake.
Outside of Spider,
Good
great
shooting.
shot.
Great start for Jake Kaminsky, who was on the U.S. men's team that won the Olympic test event in London last fall. Perhaps a sign of things to come. We shall see. Wunderlich now for his second shot.
Nice shot, Vic, right there.
Nice start.
59 points to start out.
You got stuff in your hand?
Out of 60, so best Russia can do here is tie with 3 10s.
You could ask for more, but not much more.
But I mean, Russia, it wouldn't be. I could imagine them shooting 3 10s here. Unfortunately, that won't cut it. So best Russia can do now is trail by 1 point.
But they need 2 10s to do that. Alexei Borodin, I should say. And now Bodanov. Who had a 10 on his first shot and a 10 on his second shot.
So it's already a really high-scoring match, 59 to 58. It's got to be kind of disheartening for the Russian team to shoot a 58 and be trailing. But I mean, what can you do? It's indoors, and like I said, you got to be shooting 10s all the time.
It's all about perfection in this indoor game in archery. And when you're indoors, there isn't much trajectory to consider, is there, Crispin?
Well, it depends on what arrow you are shooting. If you're shooting those big fat arrows, like we see Jake and Vic shooting on the U.S. team, then those arrows are traveling a little bit slower than the thinner arrows shot by Brady and a couple of the Russians. So there is a little bit of drop with the carbon arrows, but there's a much more significant drop with aluminums with heavier feathers that have more drag with them. So it can affect your shot. If you perform a weaker shot with a heavier arrow, you won't transfer as much energy to the arrow from the bowstring if you don't do it properly. You can get away with a little bit more shooting a lighter arrow, and it will still fly to the 10 ring, but shooting with aluminums, you definitely have to be a little bit more on top of your game to shoot really consistently with the aluminum arrows.
Team Russia not without its support here in Las Vegas. There's the cheering section I should say, for the Russian squad. As they fall behind by 1 arrow after this first end. Team USA on its first 6 shots, shooting 5 10s and 1 9. And the Russians with 4 10s and 2 9s. And they trail by 1, 59-58. And so they will start off this second end trailing by 1 arrow. Belginima Sarimpolov.
10.
Good strong shot from Cerempolov. I know he's got a kind of a little bit more jerky form than normal, but I mean it gets the job done. So it's good for him for being able to maintain that throughout all the years.
In fact, I was going to ask you, when he comes up again, I'll bring this up again, about his stance. He seems to have a little bit of an open stance.
That's not a little open stance, that's a very open stance, but it's kind of twists your body, and you're seeing a lot more archers going into it. Badmanov actually here has a pretty open stance, and as we can see here at the bottom of the screen.
Look at that left foot.
Left foot is way back. It's not affecting him that much.
It seems to be working all right.
Exactly. And we're going to see the same thing from Brady coming up right now. If we see his feet on the shooting line, there it is, and there's an open stance where his toes are almost pointed at the camera, but the camera isn't on the shooting line. It's actually a little bit further forward.
Right.
What this does is twists the archer. Unfortunately for Brady, that didn't work on that shot. But it twists the archer into a little bit more of an extreme position, which locks you in place. Jake also has this open stance as well, as you saw there. And
what would be the advantage?
The advantage would be a little bit wider base. That's an awesome shot from Jake Kaminsky as well. And advantage would be a little bit wider stance. You get a little bit more feel for falling forward, falling backward, or anything. Twisting your whole torso into position. Good shot from Vic Wonderly. Twisting a whole torso into position can give you an advantage, provided you are strong enough to do that twisting motion. And there you see Cerempolov's front heel is on the line, and his back toe is on the line, so he's very twisted.
Now we're tied midway through the second end, and a 9 opens up the door a little bit for Team USA. We'll see. We'll see how Russia finishes off this second end, but midway through the second end, we were back tied at 88 all. Alexei Podrodin.
That shot, if you saw his release on that one, his fingers came away from his face as he let go of the bowstring, and that's a big no-no for recurve shooters, seeing Badmanov line up his stance. The reason why that's a big no-no with the fingers coming off is because it makes your string fly in a variable direction instead of a straight direction. If you can consistently match how your string flies out of your fingers, then it'll be a lot better for shooting. And what we're going to see with Brady here is you'll see, looking at his fingers holding the string, it's going to actually drag along his face when he shoots the arrow, just right after the string lets go. Right there, see that?
Saw the release.
No fingers popping out, and I can guarantee with Jake, you're going to see that. You're going to see that drag along the face as well. Both Brady and Jake, really close training partners at the training center in Chula Vista. That one unfortunately did come a little bit off of his face, and you saw he paid for it right there. That was a 9. Vic Wonderly has one of the smoothest shots I've seen for the longest time. So we're going to see his fingers just come straight back along his face as well.
Wonderly needs a 9 at the very least to tie the match. A little 10 puts the Americans back up by 1 arrow. A little bit of pressure right there.
Pressure is a good thing, especially in these situations, because it keeps you level-headed. It doesn't give you like a big lead in points. Doesn't give you that little relaxed feeling where you start to waver from your form. It's getting pretty loud in here with the Russian contingent cheering for their squad. What's great about this is a lot of those are juniors as well, so they've got a lot of energy to get out here and represent and support their senior team.
They are the future, and they are here in Las Vegas. We'll see them coming up this afternoon. Some of the top juniors in the world will be competing here at the South Point Hotel and Casino. Hope you're enjoying the action here on YouTube. Carl Archery along with Crispin Duenas from Canada. And it's Team USA, #1 in the world, taking on Russia in what has been our best match thus far here this morning in Las Vegas. These two teams going at it. They met at the 2010 World Cup Stage 1 in Porek in Croatia, and the USA defeated Russia in an elimination round match, 223 to 208 back then. But right now, both of these teams almost matching arrow per arrow. There are the Olympic rings on the forearm of Brady Ellison, who hasn't been shy about expressing his goals for London this coming summer. He says he expects to win 2 gold medals there.
And that's, I mean, that's not a bad place to be when you can expect to do that. There's expectations and then there's dreams. And the biggest difference between those is that dreams aren't written down. So for you to expect to win a gold medal out there and that be your plan, it's a very good thing to have.
There you saw that stance again.
9.
A little bit of a wild shot. It wasn't as solid as I usually see Cerempolov shoot. Borodin, haven't seen him very much, but I know that he can be a very good shooter.
More of the conventional stance for him.
Still a little bit wider than shoulder width.
Right. Everybody's got to get their comfort level, don't they?
Yeah, and it depends on the strength of the archer and the flexibility of the archer, and basically how they like to stand on the line, their comfort zone. Badanov here is again, he's a jerky shooter, and you can see his release comes back really, really quickly, but he's still solid. That proves it right there that he can really put it down. I don't think he's shot a 9 in this match at all.
Well, he salvaged things right there for his team, which had gotten off to a little bit of a tough start. USA was up 117-116 after the first 2 ends, and Brady Ellison showing his championship form.
Come on, Jake.
Jake Kaminsky ranked as high as 11th in the world last year. Only 23 years old, but boy, he's got a ton of experience.
And he can really shoot 10s here. It's really good to see Jake coming out, and I know that he had some shoulder injury problems and everything, but to see him come back out here and perform this well is truly amazing.
9.
Solid 9 for Vic Wonderly right there, so a good start to this end for Team USA. You talk about injuries, they do happen in this sport. I mean, this is a tough physical sport, and people who are watching it for the first time may not understand that, but a lot of pressure on the shoulder and the back muscles.
The archers we're seeing here make it look easy.
10.
To be able to do that and shoot a 10, hit something that's 4 centimeters in diameter, 18 meters away, that's that looks easy, but it can't be that easy when you really think about it, because you have to anchor, which means that your hand holding the string has to come back to the same spot on your face every single time. You've got to be able to hold as much as, for these guys, 50
draw
pounds.
weight is 50 pounds.
Yeah, so to pull that string back is like pulling...
it's like holding a 50-pound rock and pulling it back and holding it.
Exactly. So sometimes you can move
10.
5 tons in the span of one day, but in 50-pound increments. So you really do have to be fit to do this sport. Your stomach is also extended, so you have to be able to, you have to have really good ab support.
9.
It's a 9 for Brady. On that one was a little bit of a weaker shot than I see him do normally. Usually he's a little bit more solid throughout the core, but I saw his hips move a little bit on that shot.
Jake Kaminsky.
A little bit of a shake, and yeah, it's a little bit of a flailing follow through, and he paid for it with a 9 there. But still, the United States is 2 points potentially ahead of Russia if
Victor Wonderly can come up with a 10.
Exactly.
And hit that bullseye.
10.
There it is.
Strong all day. He's a good anchor man.
He is. And you'll see different teams putting different people at different spots in the shooting order on their team. Some teams like to have the fastest shooter go last, but some other teams like to have the fastest shooter go first. It depends on what the team's strategy for timing is, and what their strategy is on how everybody reacts to 10s being shot earlier or later on in their rotation. With the U.S. right now, it looks like Brady is the guy to get out there to shoot the 10s. Jake still shoots more 10s, and Vic, I mean, he's been around for so long, he can just clean it up whenever he wants.
So a 2-arrow lead for the United States right now over the team from Russia, 174 to 172, thanks to that bullseye by Vic Wonderly on the final shot of the third end. And there you see again the judges meticulously looking at the targets, looking at the arrows, wanting to make sure that the scores are absolutely correct and precise. We are here in a World Championship situation, the Indoor World Championships in Las Vegas, Nevada. And a 57 in that end for Team USA compared to the 56 for the Russian squad. So as the result, just 2 arrows separating these two teams as we head to the fourth and final end here in Las Vegas. In our great setting here at the South Point Hotel and Casino.
We can see on the shooting line, if we focus on target number 1, Vic Wonderly is coming up and practicing his draw and his shot. So he would walk up to the line with no bow and he would just hold his arms up and practice his shot. And this is crucial for the mental aspect of this sport. Some archers need to really drill this into their head. I think he's done practicing now. But that's because Team Russia is getting ready to shoot. Team Russia to lead for this last end regulation score.
A lot of things could happen right here, even though it is a 2-arrow lead for Team USA. The Russian squad.
And that actually was very close to being a yellow card. Cerempolov pulled his arrow out of his quiver a fraction of a second before his feet were planted across the line. You have to be straddling the shooting line before the point of your arrow leaves your quiver. And this is an infraction that can be penalized by yellow card, which just means that the archer has to put the arrow back into the quiver, step back behind the 1 meter line, and then come back up to the line. Sometimes this is difficult for the judge to see, but definitely something that is there and is apparent that can be penalized. Unfortunately, we don't have video replay, and like in tennis, how you can protest a call, but
Nice strong shot, Brady.
Well, obviously right now the Russians not distracted even by the possible infractions, and they come out firing.
Badenov has not dropped a single point for this whole match, and he's the last shooter of the Russian team.
Any slip-ups for Team USA, and Russia's right back into this.
Unfortunately, that's one of the slip-ups. They're only allowed 2 slip-ups. This is a very tight match.
Especially if the Russians continue to shoot 10s to finish this out. So Jake Kaminsky, well aware of the situation. And picks things up for Team USA. That's a big shot right there. As Russia tries to mount the comeback, the Americans trying to hold them off. And Victor Wonderly, who's been...
That is a 10. That is definitely a 10. I can see it from
like it's
here.
on the line.
They're still going to call it a 9 asterisk because we haven't gotten up there to examine it, but that is a 10. That is not a 9 asterisk.
And that's vital because if it is a 10, the United States maintains a 1-point lead in the match.
Exactly.
If it's not a 10, we're tied. And the Russians are coming hard and coming strong. Trying to mount a big comeback here in the fourth and final end. Alexei Borodin trying to keep the string going right here.
That's a 9, just out. Again, he had a little bit of a weaker shot on that arrow. And Badenov, see if he can shoot another 10. He has not shot any 9s thus far in this match.
And the picture of perfection thus far.
10 points.
The picture of perfection.
80 points out of 80 points for Badenov, the only archer to keep it clean for the whole match. 231 points for Team Russia. Team USA needs to shoot 3 10s to guarantee the medal, the gold medal.
Ooh, close.
That's a very close call.
That's close.
I can't tell because of shadows, but the spotters are calling it a 10, so we're going to go on what they're saying.
Good shot,
10 points, inside out.
With the pressure on, Kaminsky comes through. Wonderly has done it before. So right now he's got to have at least a 9. A 10 will win it. And he won it!
Gold medal, USA. It doesn't matter that that arrow was a 9 asterisk. USA still wins it by 1 point if that arrow was a 9, but it was definitely a 10. Team USA gold, Team Russia silver.
And that brings this crowd here in Las Vegas to its feet. A wonderful match between the USA and Russia, and it came down to the final arrow, and Victor Wonderly came through in the clutch. So did Jake Kaminsky, as well as Brady Ellison. A great team effort overall, but hats off to the folks from Russia.
Dean,
those 3 archers did a tremendous job. They were down by 2 heading into the 4th and final end, didn't give up, and they made it a match down to the final arrow.
So hats off to Team USA.
Thank you.
Great match, and I hope you enjoyed it here on YouTube today. Carl Archery along with Crispin Duenas, one of the great archers from Canada, who's joining us here on the broadcast today. And
there you go.
A very relieved group of American archers who come away with the gold medal. It's the 2nd gold medal already today for the United States. The United States winning the gold medal in the women's recurve team competition, defeating Japan 225 to 220.
You have something else out here?
And now today,
yeah,
a very close match.
Let's make sure.
And it went down to the wire.
One more time, ladies and gentlemen, congratulations to both
And Team
teams.
USA comes away with the win by 1 arrow, 232 to 231. Almost had to go to the tiebreaker. Almost.
That would have been that would be seriously interesting if you had to go to a tiebreak for the gold medal, but not unheard of. And both these teams would be a very good examples of what to do during the tiebreak in a gold medal match.
So 232 to 231, your final score
And USA picks
here in
up
this
the
gold
extra
medal
point,
match.
so it's a 2-point win.
Actually, now they're saying that the United States picked up an extra point, so it's a 2-point victory.
That at 9 asterisk was definitely a 10.
Our next match
Well, we
is
enjoyed
also
the suspense.
Well, we do, but still, it looked like Team USA had that anyway, with that arrow called as a 9.
for the women's compound
So
category.
congratulations to Brady Ellison, Jake Kaminsky, Victor Wonderly. Of course, we'll see Jake Kaminsky a little bit later on today in the individual competition, as he'll be in the men's recurve gold medal match. That'll be coming up a little bit later on here on YouTube today at the Archery World Cup, or I should say the Archery World Archery Indoor Championships, the finals here in Las Vegas, which are off to a great start. Team USA with a couple of gold medals already. The Ukraine taking a bronze medal in the men's recurve team competition. And Italy also with a bronze medal earlier on to get this party started in the women's recurve team bronze medal match. So Italy with the bronze, the Ukraine with the bronze, and the United States with a pair of gold medals already. So the gold rush is on here in Las Vegas as the United States tries to cash in here on the home turf. So we get set now for compound competition. We'll switch from the recurve to the compound, and this will be the women's compound team bronze medal match. And this match will pit Italy against Great Britain here in Las Vegas. And we'll see some other world-class archers taking the stage here as Laura Longo, Marcella Tonioli lead Katia D'Agostino onto the stage here in Las Vegas. Everybody performs on a stage in Las Vegas, including the archers. Team Italy got here by beating the Australians in the quarterfinals by 6 points and then dropped a 5-point decision to Team USA. It's Marcella Tonioli in the middle, Laura Longo on the right, and Katia D'Agostino on the left. Those two ladies on the right, Marcella Tonioli and Laura Longo, very experienced and very talented as they acknowledge the crowd here at South Point Hotel and Casino. And here's a good look at the team from Great Britain. Andrea
Shooting for the
Gales,
bronze
Naomi
medal on
Jones,
target
and
number 2,
Nicola
the
Simpson.
team of Great Britain.
Gales,
Nicola
Jones,
Simpson,
and
Naomi Jones,
Nicola Simpson
Andrea
will be
Gales.
starting at target number 2 today.
24 arrows conducted.
Simpson, quite a story, 56 years old, and still competing at this level, Crispin.
I think she's I think one of the only grandmothers that holds records, international records, world records on the archery circuit in the nowadays. But I mean, we had a really great team from Team Great Britain here. Actually, the coach of Team Great Britain in the coach's box is Naomi Folkhart. She's an Olympian for the British team. And Team Italy also has a pretty strong team.
That's the great thing about this sport. You see competitors at all different ages. You might have somebody in their teens competing against somebody in their 50s. Watching the para-archers, it's just a great sport that so many people can take part in. And there's a 10 to start things off for Great Britain.
So we can see that in these targets there's a very small ring that constitutes the 10 ring. And we used to have an outer 10 and an inner 10, but we've got these new targets now that only have the smaller inner 10 for the compound shooters.
10.
Makes it a little bit more difficult for some compound shooters because they've had to readjust how they aim at the target. Some people have had dots that only fill in the what used to be 10 ring for the recurves, but now that there's such a small portion of the target that they're trying to hit, they've had to there we go. They've had to readjust how they aim at the target. And it has started to shake up things a little bit on the compound side of the competition.
It looks like shooting at a quarter.
It's smaller than a quarter. It actually looks like a dime.
Laura Longo
9 to open for Italy from Laura Longo.
starting things off for Italy.
Junior champion.
Laura, 23 years old, ranked 4th in the world. Now watching her teammate, D'Agostino, who's 24 years old and ranked 49th in the world, and going for her first medal in world competition.
9.
Another 9. Both of those arrows a little low, so
World team champion, Marcella
wondering
Tonioli.
if the third shooter, Tonioli,
Tonioli, 25 years old.
will shoot low as well. I doubt it. We'll see what happens.
9.
Right.
Oh, out to the right.
GPR with a 2-point lead.
Hai lasciato lì il mirino?
So Great Britain off to a 2-point advantage, 2-arrow advantage midway through the first end. They beat Mexico in the quarterfinals by 8 points and then fell to Russia by 4 points in the semifinals.
9.
And a 9 right there. So tens are tough to come by.
This one has, it's really tough for compound archers now, especially with that aiming. But just to hit that really, really small ring for the 10,
9.
it can start to play with your head under high pressure situations. But if anybody can do it, well, these two teams can.
Simpson with a 9, so it's been 3 9s in a row after 2 10s to start the first end for Great Britain. They took a 2-point lead midway through this first end.
A little bit of a shaky shot, and that's a 9 for Andrea Gales.
Tranquillamente, dico io.
10.
10 points for Team Italy.
Laura Longo trying to start a comeback for Italy
Don't hurt yourselves applauding it there,
as
folks.
they
This
were
is not
down
all.
by 2 arrows midway through the first end, but picked up a point right there. Now D'Agostino
9.
with a 9.
Just a little low.
So a 10 here, and they're tied up after the first end. But easier said than done.
Exactly.
20 ore.
Of course, Tonioli, very capable, as you see her peering through the sight.
10, 9, 8, 7.
The countdown from her coach.
10 will draw
She
us
lets
to
it
9.
fly, and it's a
GPR
9.
takes a 1-point
So
lead.
it's a 1-arrow advantage for Great Britain after the first end.
But again, it's only 1 point, so it's very
Ancora bassa, Katia.
possible for Team Italy to come back and take this, but Team Great Britain is another strong competing team. So we'll see what happens in the next 3 ends.
Now she's shooting, so there's nobody motivated.
But as you can see here, all of the archers are shooting fat arrows so that they can get as close to cutting those lines as possible. Whereas with the recurve archers, we saw thin outdoor arrows being used. So it's one big difference between the recurve and the compound is a lot more recurvers aren't afraid to shoot with thin arrows in the indoor circuit.
The women's compound team bronze medal match. Again, it's Italy taking on Great Britain. And, you know, if you're just watching this sport for the first time, it looks pretty simple, but it's a very technical sport.
Especially with the compound. The compounds are very sniper-like. They're very precise. They have to be really precise. They have magnifying scopes on their sights. They've got levels, bubble levels on their sights. A mechanical release aid that holds onto the string, and they've got a peep sight in their string. Laura Longo getting a little confused with the timing signals there.
And with the pulleys and the cables that you see on these compound bows, you are talking about a very technical piece of equipment. As Laura Longo, good shot of her.
9.
And a 9, just a little bit low.
Like her last previous first shot, I should say. And we can see also from the compound archers, they're not as wide of a stance as we just previously saw. They don't have such a wide stance like some of the recurve archers do.
10.
That's a 10, cutting the line. Very good shot from D'Ostino.
That's where that fat air arrow comes into play.
Exactly.
Now Tonioli.
We can also see that there is no clicker on the bow. All the compound archer has to do is either wait for the release to fire.
9.
It's a 9 in the same hole as the first one.
And that is a big difference between recurve and compound. They do use that release.
And that makes the action of releasing the string a lot more consistent than using your fingers. And the compounds also just draw to a single draw length so that you can pull back against what's called the wall.
Good shot.
It's a 10.
Wait, 10.
You can pull back against something called the wall, and your arrow's not going to go any further back. Whereas a recurve, that's why we need to reuse the clicker. But again, the compound is a much more precise bow than the recurve, which is why they've only given them that small.
Wait, shot. 10.
9 points.
Almost
Almost
a
a
10.
10.
That's why they've given them that such small 10 ring to shoot at, because of how precise these bows are.
I'd say half shaft. I could be wrong. Oh, really?
Andrea Gales.
Sorry.
Andrea.
Oh, beautiful
Inside
shot.
out.
Inside out 10, which means that arrow's pretty much not touching any line from the inside of the scoring ring.
So Great Britain breaks on top by 2 points, 85-83 overall. And
10 points.
Tonioli, or excuse me, Laura Longo. Laura Longo answers with a 10 of her own.
Point lead for GBR.
So following the great match between the Russian men and the men from Team USA, we've got a great one going on here on the bronze medal match between Italy and Great Britain. And now Tonioli with a final arrow for the Italian team here on the second end.
9.
And Marcella on the line with a 9.
It's a tough shot there because it's very outside and not close to the 10 ring. So I think Tonioli just has to relax and just do her shot.
3 straight 9s by the team from Great Britain, and they'll take this end and take the lead.
Seeing the scope and the bubble level here.
Great shot. 10.
A great shot right there by Andrea Gales. The
35
last medal
seconds.
back in 2008.
I believe that was Naomi
Oh,
Jones.
excuse me, that's Jones, yes.
This is Nicholas Simpson.
Altina, credo.
The 56-year-old grandmother. Still competing in this sport and at a high level.
It's a 6 cut.
And a really nice person to talk to as well.
I imagine there isn't much she hasn't seen in this sport.
10.
10 points.
Well done.
And now Andrea Gales. shot there.
First will be resumed.
And this very experienced team, the youngest archer on this team, 27 years old. And so there you see the scores, 114 out of 120 possible points for the team from Great Britain. And the Italian side, sizing up the situation.
Yellow.
A 10, 9, and a 9 to finish up that second end. So they're looking up a little bit at an uphill climb here as we head for the third end in Las Vegas, Nevada, in the middle of the team competition here at the World Archery Indoor Championship Finals.
It might, I don't know.
So after 12 arrows,
I looked again.
there is a 3-point difference between these two teams. Not an insurmountable lead for Italy to make up.
There's a shadow underneath it.
But Great Britain shooting very well right now.
Dai, adesso.
And putting some pressure
Dentro. Tenerle e
on
tenerle
their
bene.
friends from Italy.
Adesso.
This is the first match between these teams in recent years.
GBR leading Italy by a total of 3 points at the halfway mark. Italy shooting
Great
first.
Britain had
Target
won the
number
silver
1.
medal back in 2009 in this event. But the athletes
Okay.
competing today were not on that team, so it's a whole new roster. As Laura Longo takes the first shot of the
Così,
third
così,
end.
così, va bene, va bene.
And it's on the line. Looks like a 10. What do you think, Crispin?
It might be called a 9 asterisk. But yeah, it does look like it's on the line, so that
Okay.
she would get that point.
Now D'Agostino.
9.
Tenta, destra, 2, alta.
And it's hiding behind the fletching of the first arrow, so I can't really see that one. Tonioli, remember, if I just said, if she just relaxes and does her shot, then she'll start rolling out the 10s, because I know she can.
Ancora a destra, Marci.
She has come through in pressure situations before. In fact, last year in Ogden, Utah, she beat Erica Anschutz in a shoot-off. So, obviously,
Questa
she
anche
has
la
been
luce, ci avevano
tested.
detto che c'era un sacco di roba. Sì, sì, può essere.
Naomi
può
Jones.
essere, può essere.
Confident look in her
Tu con
eye.
l'ultima sei stata a sinistra, Laura?
9.
Occhio.
Just
out.
outside,
Yep.
yeah.
It's about a centimetre out at 2 o'clock.
Poco poco, ma c'era a sinistra. Boh.
Nicola Simpson, who won a World Cup gold medal in Croatia back in 2008.
9.
Just out at 6.
And was on the 2010 team that took a bronze medal in Shanghai. Andrea Gales now. Ranked 25th in the world.
9.
Oh, 2 millimeters out for Andrea. So
Couple
Con
of
calma
fouls out.
Team
dentro e
Great
bene.
Britain
Bene, bene.
avoiding the
Precisa.
10 ring on that end,
Yeah.
or on that
It looks
pass of
steady.
3 arrows, but Team Italy now up on the line. Laura Longo,
Who had a 10 on her first shot this end, now a 9.
9, unfortunately.
They've made up a little ground here in the third end, but there's still some more work to do as D'Agostino
Lasciamo stare.
eyes it.
We've got a lot more time.
9 points.
It's a
Ancora
9 for
due, su.
D'Agostino.
Alta 2 ancora.
Antonioli, who started out shooting recurve before converting to compound. Trying to finish this end up in style
Ancora
and
destra.
finishes with a 9. So
Stesso
5
buco
straight
di
9s after that 10
18 arrows complete for Italy.
by Jones to start this
166
end.
points on
So
the
they
board.
post 55 points here on this end.
Tutto ok?
She's been off to the right quite a lot,
Anche dato, ma
Tony
non
Elliott has,
so.
and so really hope she's moving that sight over, or realizing that
Great shot,
different
Ted.
lighting could actually affect how you aim.
40 seconds.
That's a big shot by Naomi Jones right there. Puts her team in good position to win this end and build on that lead. As Simpson lines it up.
March with a 10.
Great
It's
shot.
a 10 or 9 on the line, but spotters are calling it definitely a
20
10,
seconds.
so it's a good shot for Nicola Simpson.
9 or better here, they win this end and build on that lead. And Andrea Gales has been very, very good today. Last medal back in 2008 when her team won the silver medal at the World Cup event in Turkey. A 9 right there, but it's enough to win the end and pick up another point.
Exactly. And so now it's unofficially a 4-point lead for Team Great Britain going into the final end.
So the Italian team in a bit of spot of trouble right here in Las
It would
Vegas.
be pretty awesome. Yeah.
Tonioli, Longo, and D'Agostino.
So I believe the judge there was telling Italy they were having some problems with almost getting yellow carded on that last end. What had happened is their first shooter, Laura Longo, stepped up to the line, and before her feet were planted straddling the line, her arrow point was already out of the quiver, and that's a yellow card. That's a potential yellow card. So I believe our judge here was trying to tell them that, you know, it's getting really close, and I'm going to be yellow carding you if I see that again. So if we have to just watch Laura Longo and how her arrow is in relation to her quiver as she's stepping up to the line. Once again, if she plants her feet before the arrow comes out, it's legal. But if the arrow is out before her feet are planted, that is a big no-no. You can't do that. And she'll get called back to the line, or back past the 1 meter line.
Italy shooting first, target number 1. Final end of the bronze medal
Here she
match.
goes, she steps, goes there. That was very close again.
I thought so, I was going to say.
Yeah, so.
Is that just her style?
Yeah, some people get really antsy on the team round because they think that there's not enough time, where in actual fact there's plenty of time.
10.
Sì, leggermente a destra,
It
ma
worked
c'è.
for Tonioli that time.
Dai,
Excuse-
Kate.
Longo, excuse me.
Attenta al destra, vai su tranquillo.
That's
Ok, ferma
D'Agostino,
con la testa, brava.
who came in hoping to pick up her first medal in world competition.
9.
Just out
Sinistra.
at 9 o'clock to the left. And Tonioli again. I really hope that she gets off the right side of that target. There it is, a 10-point
Go.
score on that arrow. It kind of looked like it surprised her a little bit, and she doesn't look very happy with it. So that means that the shot was bad, but
The bottom
result
line
was good.
is, yeah.
Yeah.
Naomi Jones, just 27, unranked,
Just caught the
but
9.
shooting well.
Very high arrow from Jones on that shot.
Now Nicola Simpson.
Nine.
9 or
Oh,
10, too
smidge out.
close to call. Yeah, it's sitting about 2 millimeters outside of the 10 ring. Andrea Gales,
Great
10
shot.
points on the
Gales
line, but
coming
it's in.
through.
Great Britain leading by 3 with 3 shots to go.
All 3 British archers have been strong today. But Italy getting 2 10s on their first 3 shots of this 4th and final end.
2 arrows remaining for Italy.
And a 9 for Laura Longo, who walks away a little disappointed.
Sì, sì,
10
sì.
points for D'Agostino. Final arrow, Tonioli. 10 would give them 58 points out of a possible 60.
Sì.
10 points.
What
Good
a great
finish.
shot by Marcella.
Leads the match with 224 points.
So Tonioli finishing off strong, as did D'Agostino.
3 9s here will win the match for Great Britain.
9.
There's the
Smidgen
first.
out.
That's the first
Good
one.
shot.
Then again, I mean, there's no arrows out in
35
the 8 ring
seconds.
here for Team Great Britain, so
Stay
it's
strong.
I mean, just put them in the gold and you've got this medal. 10 points.
Good shot.
And
Not bad for a grandmother,
20
is it?
seconds.
8 points will win this for Team Great Britain. So Andrea Gales just keeps it in the middle, and they're good.
Ice cream and brownies for everybody. There you go.
10 points for Andrea Gales.
Well done, girls.
They finish it off in
Well
style.
done.
So the team from Great Britain doing a great job here today. Italy testing them, but Great Britain getting off to a lead early and never really looking back, keeping the pressure on. And the ladies from Great Britain are going home with a bronze medal. We're trying to make the grandkids happy, I suspect. Grandma bringing a bronze medal back home from Las Vegas. You always have to bring some souvenirs home from Las Vegas for the family.
Yeah, I think you do. I think I've stopped bringing them home because I had weight limit issues, but definitely a medal is something you don't want to go home without.
227 out of 240 for the team from Great Britain. And that's 3 arrows, 3 points better than Italy, which finishes with 224. So 3-point win for Great Britain. 227 to 224, the final count here in this bronze medal match in the women's compound team competition. And they will clear the stage now. We'll get set for our next match. So congratulations for the team from Great
We're going to
Britain.
get one of you two.
Team USA with 2 gold medals thus far in the competition. Ukraine, the men in recurve, got a bronze medal. And way back at the start of our day, in the women's recurve team bronze medal match, it was Italy coming up by 2. So Italy has won a bronze medal and missed on a chance at a bronze medal here in the compound competition.
No, she,
So they clear the stage, get the targets ready,
you to come with her.
and we'll get set for our next competition. By the way, later on today, we'll be looking forward to seeing Andre Agassi, the great from the sport of tennis, who won so many Grand Slams, participated in the Olympics, and he'll be here presenting on behalf of Longines the prize for precision from last year's champions. So we're looking forward to seeing Andre Agassi a little bit later on today. Here in Las Vegas, where Andre makes his home.
Ragazze, bisogna per il proseguo della stagione facciamo un tantino
A
meglio.
preparatory school for kids that he funds, putting a lot back into the
No, ma
community.
l'ho viste, sono andate lì.
So we're about halfway through our team competition here in Las Vegas. Coming up later on today, we'll have the junior competition. Then we'll have the individual
Penso che ti cacci.
events
Hai combinato?
for the men and the women in the recurve and in the compound. Some great matches still ahead here on YouTube, so stay with us all day long. South Point Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada, where we understand it's a beautiful day outside.
It
In fact,
is,
we could probably
unfortunately.
shoot outside today.
We could shoot outside, but this is an indoor event, so it wouldn't count if we shot this outside. But it would be nice to get outside and do some outdoor shooting.
Nicola's going.
I understand you've been able to get outdoors a little bit up in Canada this winter.
Just a little bit, but it's still really muddy. And I mean, it just dirties everything up if you try to get outside. But definitely after this,
You got your
after I get
bag,
home
okay.
after this tournament, I'm going to be preparing for the outdoor competitions. It is an Olympic year, and we are trying to get our Olympic spot filled, and I'm hopefully going on that spot. So we'll see what happens.
Have you had a chance to go over and take a look at Lord Crickett's field over in London?
Yeah, I was at the Olympic test event earlier this year, or earlier in October. And it's a beautiful venue. It's a really nice place to be. It's the hotel we were staying at was just a short walk away, so I mean that was very convenient for us. I've seen the Olympic Village. I've seen where that's supposed to be installed. I've seen the main stadium, all that good stuff, and it's looking like it's going to be a good shoot.
I've heard nothing but great things about the upcoming Olympics in London, and that the folks in England have everything ready just about. And they're well prepared to host the Summer Olympiad coming up this August. And obviously we hope that Crispin Duenas will be there with Team Canada. Now we get set for the women's compound team gold medal match, and once again it's going to be a head-to-head competition between the USA and Russia. The Americans on the right, the Russians on the left. We'll introduce you to the archers. And shooting today for Team USA, Christy Collin on the left, Tristan Scarvin in the middle, and on the right is Erica Anschutz, who won the World Cup Finals last year in Istanbul. One of the real bright stars I suspect that we'll be seeing, if everything goes according to plan, we'll be seeing Erica Anschutz in London this summer. And now shooting for the Russian Federation, Victoria Balzanova, Natalia Avadeva.
And two-time champion of the world, Albina Loganova.
And as you can hear George in the background announce, Albina Loganova also shooting, one of the great archers all time in the history of this sport.
Which of these teams will be crowned champions of the world?
So this should be a great match right now. The Russian team defeating Finland by 8 points in the quarterfinals, and then topping Great Britain by 4 in the semifinals. Team USA defeated Italy in the semifinals 233 to 228 to reach this gold medal match. So there are the cheering sections again here in Las Vegas.
United States shooting
the Russian fans
number 1.
and the American fans out in force as well. The Team USA shooting first at target number 1.
So first shooter is Christy Collin. She's been around for a while and she's got international experience, so for her this should be a very easy thing to do.
She's ranked 9th in the world and improved her standing by winning the silver medal at the World Cup Finals last September over in Istanbul. And a 9 for Christy to start the match off. Now a youngster, Tristan Scarvin, 20 years old. She won gold with the women cadets team in Turkey back in 2008. She fires a 10.
Good girl.
And now it's Erica Anschutz, the 23-year-old who won the World Cup title in Istanbul last September. Great start for Erica.
It's a very good start for Team USA, dropping only 1 point.
Mixed Team World Cup champion, Balzanova of the Russian Federation.
And you can see the intensity.
Again, it's a very precision sport. The size of the 10 ring that they're trying to hit is almost the size of a dime. So
And Balzanova hits it. Oh, I thought she hit it.
Oh, there's just out, just a little bit low.
I guess so. Now Avdeva.
9.
The last shooter here for the Russian Federation, Albina Loganova. Very good shooter.
She's been on the scene for a long time and has been successful for a long time.
9. United States leading by 2.
Fortunately for her, that was a 9, and United States leads by 2 points. USA is going to try to take this and run with this.
Christy Collin was on the women's gold medal team in Shanghai, where the Americans defeated Russia 227 to 214. She's gone up against the Russians before. And here's Scarvin, who had a 10 with her first shot.
Nine.
Shot. Good time. Come on, Erica.
Erica Anschutz, who won the Longines Prize for Precision last year that we were talking about a moment ago.
Yeah.
Talk about precision.
She's using what looks like a back tension release as well, so there's no trigger on that release. What happens is as you pull a little bit harder with your back into the wall of the compound, activates or it rotates this little moon, a moon device that's inside the release, which releases the jaw and releases the string. So this one is a little bit not as preferred by competition shooters. Some of them prefer having a trigger to be able to push when they know that the time is right. So Erica has to hold her sight in the middle of the target and wait for that release to go off. But clearly she's doing a really good job of that.
Loganova ranked 2nd in the world, despite the fact that she didn't medal at the World Cup Finals in Turkey last fall, coming in 6th place.
10.
But she's scoring well here today. She gets the only 10 of that first end for her team. And after the first 6 arrows, Team USA goes up by 2 points, 57-55.
Just out. I know, it looked good. Come on, Don, come.
But intense concentration and focus. You can see that on the face of the American archers as they discuss the situation here in Las Vegas.
So again, the primary goal here to shoot 10s becomes a little bit harder because that 10 ring is so much smaller, and no reference points such as a larger 10 ring are given for these compound archers to aim with. So the precision of this, the compound division has just been increased because of the lack of reference points, but definitely Team USA showing how to do it. Some other people are taking a little bit longer time to catch up with how to aim with that.
So they retrieve the arrows.
Looks like the Russian girl pulling these arrows here has a little ritual. She'll pull the arrow and then touch the point of the arrow to the X ring. Let's just see this. It's a little ritual. There you go. That little tap.
Just something for good luck.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. I've never seen that happen before.
Nobody superstitious in your sport?
Well, it looks like we've got one right there.
I guess so. We found the first one. All right, so the chants going up here in the arena between the Russian fans and the American fans. Folks getting fired up, and you can tell Erica Anschietz, Christy Collin, they're enjoying it. They compete on foreign soil most of the year, so to get this kind of support, it's unusual, but it's welcome. By the way, that's Brady Ellison's mom in the lower right-hand corner of your screen, and his fiancée sitting next to her. So for once, they don't have to fly halfway around the world to watch Brady compete.
It's a couple states over. Team Russia shooting first because they are behind by 2 points.
Trailing 57-55. Good look at the stance right there for Balzanova, who dropped from 4th in the world last summer to 7th in the world when she arrived here in Las Vegas. Natalia Avdiva, the second shooter. Bit of a wide stance.
It was a really quick shot. Almost like she punched her trigger.
So it comes down to Laganova right now. Can't do it much better than that.
Come on, Christy.
Laganova and her teammates finished second in Shanghai at stage 4 last year, picking up a silver medal. Trying to go home with gold today. But so is Christy Collin.
Good shot. Good shot. Good up.
Scarvan ranked 95th in the world.
Yes.
That's a great shot right there, right on the line.
Unfortunately, there's no line there because that's
been obliterated.
That's where her previous arrow was, so it's going to have to be called by the judge. And finally, Erica Anschietz with a 10 in the first hole that she had made.
She's only 23 years old, but you have to keep in mind she's been participating in this sport since she was 6 years old. Began competing in archery tournaments by the time she was 7. Started shooting professionally in 2006. So she's been around. So is Balzanova. They're going to give Balzanova a 10.
It's on the line, but it's definitely in.
Avdiva with a 9. In the gold ring, but not the ring she was hoping for. And Albina Longanova now. She won the world title in Torino last summer at the World Championships. Also won the World Cup title in 2010 Edinburgh.
Up to a
Scores a
4-point
9 right there. So 2 10s and 4 9s in that end
Like practice, strong shot.
for the Russian team. Back to Christy Collin now. She won 2 team gold medals at Stage 3 in Ogden, Utah last summer.
9.
6 World Cup medals altogether last summer.
Good shot.
Was on the gold medal team at the World Championships in Torino. Look at the glasses that Tristan's wearing.
Yeah, I was looking at that earlier, and I think what's happening there is she might have a
10.
cross dominance. So she's shooting right-handed, but she still has a little bit of a left-eye dominance going on. So what she's done is tinted her left eye with that single lens.
10.
And that was a very quick shot by Erica Anshoot.
She looked almost surprised.
Well, she only had about 5 seconds to go, and she came up to the line. So I heard her coach saying 3, 2, and then she fired. So she literally held that shot for only about a second or a bit, and she still scored a 10 off of that, which was an amazing shot. So really good shooting by Team USA, especially by Erica Anshoot on that shot.
That's where muscle memory comes into play, doesn't it?
Exactly, and experience to know that it can kind of force the shot and still make it go into the 10 ring.
It was almost like watching that young man, Mr. Austin Rivers, take that last shot last night in the Duke, North Carolina game. I don't know if you had a chance to see that, but
nope.
Comes down last second. Had no time to think about it, just put it up. Muscle memory comes into play.
Exactly.
Hits the three-pointer, and they beat North Carolina by 1. So same sort of thing right here.
Exactly.
Under pressure,
Yep.
clock running down, and Erica Anshoot comes through. And right now I'd say the Team USA has 20/20 vision.
Well, definitely, you can see Tristan Scarvan kind of get rid of a little bit of jitters there, and Erica Anshoot's just really calm as a cucumber, I guess they would say. And but you can see the excitement out of Team USA when Anshoot's pulled off that last shot. And Russia was probably hoping that she wasn't going to be able to shoot that.
Scores official 114.
Not under that
points.
kind of pressure.
3-point lead over
But
Russian
Team USA
Federation.
now with a 3-point edge over Russia, 114 to 111. Team
USA.
USA with 57 points in the first end, another 57 points in the second end. Russia with 55 to start the match, and then 56 in that end. And so they have been steadily losing ground here as we reach the midway point in this match. The women's compound team gold medal match, Russia and USA. In the recurve competition earlier today, we saw the United States defeat Russia. In the men's recurve competition, now in the women's compound team competition, USA on its way perhaps to another gold medal, but still 12 more arrows to be shot, and a lot can happen over the course of the next 2 ends. There have been 10 encounters between these two teams since 2006. The USA defeating Russia 3 times, including the last 2 matches, both times at the Shanghai World Cup stage number 4. However, Russia did beat the USA in their most important match, the gold medal final of the 2009 World Championships. So here we go, third end in Las Vegas. Balzanova taking her time,
10 points.
and it pays off.
That was a very solid shot from Balzanova.
Be quick, but don't hurry.
Well, the whole premise of shooting this bow properly is that you don't want to punch the shot off. You don't want to rush it. And what happens when you do that is your body anticipates the shot going off, and that anticipation can ruin the whole shot. So you kind of want the shot to be a surprise to you so that your body is kind of calm and not anticipating anything.
A little more relaxed.
Exactly.
Yeah. Albina Longanova relaxed on that shot right there. Great bullseye for that world-class archer. So now the ball is in the court of Team USA. Christy Collin wearing glasses herself. We didn't see her wearing glasses last year outdoors. But indoors here, shoots a 9 with that shot. And again, you get a good look at the glasses.
Well, she actually does have a frosting going on over that frame, so she...
10.
That's a very good shot. It's like she wants to close an eye without closing her eye.
Right. And it seems to be working just fine. Here's Erica Anschutz, who grew up in Nebraska.
10.
Yep.
Good shooting from Erica Anschutz. That's a very good shot.
9 arrows remaining.
Barely leaving the 10 ring on that target.
I think she could hit an ear of corn in Nebraska from about 70 meters.
I think she could just hit a kernel of the corn.
So 2 10s and a 9 to start that end for Team USA. And now it's picking up as the Russians try to counter, stay in this match. Balzanova with a 10 after the 10 by Albina Longanova, and now a 9 for Avdiva.
Minimum 4 point lead for the United States.
Avdiva, just 24 years old, ranked 33rd in the world. Albina, very long, tall archer.
I shot beside her yesterday, and it's kind of intimidating how tall she is. But that doesn't really matter. It actually helps an archer out to be a little bit taller because you get a little bit more time of arrow spending on the string, which in the long run actually helps you out.
$28 more points and they'll tie this match up. 29, and they'll win, or I should say this end. Excuse me, not the match.
Potential 4-point lead.
So a 9 for Christy Collin.
Strong shot. Yes.
10-9 liner.
10 or 9, too close to call.
Put an asterisk by it.
Exactly.
It is just out.
So a 10 by Erica Anschutz right here ties up this end. Final shot of the third end, and Erica Anschutz, she killed the spider.
I think Erica Anschutz has gone clean for this whole
USA
match.
think you're right.
3 points
Yeah, so
with 6 arrows to go.
it's definitely great shooting by Erica Anschutz, matching arrow for arrow the maximum amount of points that you can get.
Well, Erica was upset in the individual competition this week as well, so this is her chance to shine, and she's taking advantage of that opportunity right now. Just a tremendous competitor and a tremendous archer. She's already established more than 160 national records and 20 world records in indoor and outdoor competition, and that goes from her days as a cadet up to senior competition. So in Erica Anschutz, you are watching, and along with Albina Longanova, two of the best in the world in women's compound archery.
Right now, Erica Anschutz is really shining. She's killing that 10 ring over and over and over again. And unfortunately, Longanova has shot a couple 9s already. And I mean, Anschutz being the only archer on the field who's still clean is a really good thing for the United States. Leading by 3 points over Team Russia going into the final end.
The thing I notice in talking with Erica is she is so focused and she is so intense and so passionate about this game and this sport. And I think it just really propels her to higher levels. And she has already reached great heights already. There's a good look at Jake Kaminsky. He'll be on stage again in just a little while.
That's his wife, Amanda, sitting beside him, coming out to support him.
And giving great words of advice. You should always listen to the wife. Absolutely.
Okay. Keep that in consideration when I get married.
That's exactly right. You call me up and I'll give you some advice on how to handle advice from the wife.
All right.
Always listen. There are the arrows as they go and retrieve them. And
so it'll be interesting to see if their agent here for Team Russia still touches the arrow tip to the center of the target. And watching her from our point, she has not. That's unfortunate. Oh wait, maybe she might be.
She's still touching the arrow.
Okay,
Yep,
Christy, take a deep breath.
The head of the arrow to the center of the target.
It's a fun little ritual going on there.
Boy, I've been impressed with Tristan Scarvin today. My first opportunity to watch her. And I guess they were going to give her a 10. It looked like it was a liner, but
Way to fight. Yeah.
Brandy DeLoach, we saw her earlier, come up with a great performance.
As the new person on the team. It's a great shot of
The knock's right there, and the fletching.
The knock actually does clip onto the string, and a lot of people think that when you're shooting a bow, you hold onto the arrow, pinching it onto the string, but the arrow holds itself onto the string, and you pull the string back. So,
and that's why you have the releasing compound.
Exactly. You never touch the string with the compound with your fingers.
That sounds good to me. I'm going to have to go for recurve to compound.
Russian Federation shooting first. USA is ahead.
I can just get my coach to go along with that. I'll be fine. All right.
Final 6 arrows for this gold medal match.
And it's Team USA leading by 3, 171 to 168. So a lot of work for the Russians to get done here in this 4th and final end. Balzanova on the line.
10 points.
So a good start for Russia.
It'd be nice to see Avdieva shoot some 10s before she's done today. She's shaking a bunch, though.
You can see the
There's
movement
a 10.
right there.
That's
how can she shoot a 10 when she was moving that much?
I don't know.
One of the mysteries of the world.
Well, again, like I said, some archers are really good at knowing their shot and knowing that, when I'm passing the 10 with my sight and I just, give it a little bit extra push or do whatever.
10, 10, 10.
Look at that.
And, that's a great shot from Albina Loganova.
So game on.
Come on, Christy.
That 3-point lead being challenged right here. And Christy Collin, the veteran, trying to counter. She was on the gold medal team at the World Championships in Torino last summer. She's been in this situation before. Comes up with a 9.
Tristan Scarvin. Nine or 10 too close to call.
Pretty close to call, I think. She's looking through her binoculars, trying to see.
See if Erica can maintain her 10 roll. 10. She does.
She's on a streak.
She's definitely on fire. That's awesome shooting from Erica, and she's...
If I'm her, I'm hitting the tables as soon as I get done because she's hot. They've made up 2 points midway through this 4th and final end. But they needed to keep shooting 10s. Balzanova with a 9. Now Avdieva.
9 points.
Final arrow for Russian Federation.
Coach sounded kind of frustrated there, but really nothing you can do at this point.
So Loganova will try to finish this off with a strong shot. Her team had mounted a challenge. At best, they can score 58 points for the end. It's a 59, so they'll settle for 57 points. And so the 2 points that they picked up.
So unofficially, USA just has to put 3 arrows into the 9 ring, keep it in the
got
gold, and they've got the gold medal.
10.
Points.
Yeah.
A 9 and an 8 will win it,
What's that last click?
at least.
And Christy taking a little bit of the pressure off her teammates with that shot.
That's right.
Which is not to say that Tristan Scarvin doesn't want to hit that 10 ring. And she does.
Points.
They all want to hit the tables.
Final arrow.
Roll some dice, do something.
See if Erica can close out with a 10.
She has been sensational here today.
Champions of the world.
That's enough for Team USA to score a 3-point victory over Russia. And for the second time here in the team competition,
Good job, guys.
the
Good
United
job.
States has taken advantage of the home court advantage, so to speak. and been able to beat a team from Russia. So thumbs up.
I believe that's 3 gold medals for USA out of 3 for today. So it's really good shooting for the U.S. archers.
Women's compound team gold goes to the United States, as does the gold medal in the men's team recurve competition. And that other gold medal going to the women's recurve team. So that's 3 gold medals here in team competition for the United States. And somewhere Denise Parker is loving it. The big smiles on the faces of Erica Anschutz, Tristan Scarvin, and Christy Collin. As well, there should be big smiles as they come up with a 3-point win, 229 to 226. It looked like the Russian side was going to make a big challenge as they fired off 3 bullseyes with their first 3 shots here in the 4th and final end. They make a little bit of a run, but then they ended up with 3 9s. And Team USA got 2 10s and a 9. Or excuse me, yes, 2 10s and a 9 to finish this off. And so Team USA comes away with the victory, 229 to 226. So congratulations to Erica Anschutz, Christy Collin, Tristan Scarvin. It's been a good day at the office for Team USA. They open up a 2-point lead to start the match, 57-55, and they go on to win it by 3, 229 to 226, the final score. So the action continues here in Las Vegas, Nevada, at the World Archery Indoor Championship Finals. The team competition continuing here at the South Point Hotel and Casino. Hope you're enjoying the action here on YouTube as we get set for the men's compound team bronze medal match. And this one will pit Team Canada against the squad from Great Britain. Canada coming in, and they'll be on the right. Great Britain will be on the left. Although as you look at the action, there's a good look at Team Canada. Dietmar Trillis in the middle. Christopher Perkins on the right. And then Kevin Tatterin, the third archer for the Canadians, who defeated South Africa by 7 and then tied Italy at 232 before going on to win the tiebreaker. Now Great Britain, you'll take a good look at them. Duncan Busby, Chris White, and Liam Grimwood. So Busby, Grimwood, and White, those 3 got by the Swiss by just 2 points in the quarterfinals and then slipped by the Danes by 1 point. So they've had some close calls, Great Britain, so they ought to be used to competing in tight competition.
Well, I know that we've got a really strong team on for Team Canada and for Team Great Britain, so this is definitely going to be a close match, and I can't even call it, but it might be within 1 or 2 points. And first shooter here is Liam Grimwood, one of the finalists for the 2009 World Outdoor Championships.
Rather tall young man. He lines up his first shot.
The Grit with a 10.
10 points for Liam Grimwood. Great start for Team Great Britain. Next guy is Chris White, and if you want to talk about tall, he's got to be one of the taller archers on the field. I don't know exactly how tall he is, but I think he might be in the 6'5" realm.
So is he almost looking down on the target?
Yeah, aiming down almost all the time.
9.
Snaps off a great shot, 9. So White is 33 years old and ranked 42nd in the world. Sets the stage now for Duncan Busby.
Donuts with a 10.
And Busby with the 10.
Okay, Kevin, start it off.
So Great Britain off to a nice start here in the first end of the men's compound team bronze medal match.
We can see Kevin Tatterin here, and maybe later on we'll see the coach of Canada, who is actually his father, in the coach's box here.
9.
9 points for Kevin.
Kevin, 27 years old. Took a team silver medal in Ogden back in 2010.
This is Dietmar Trillis, 2007 world champion.
53
Outdoor.
years old and ranked 3rd in the world. And he's on the line, gets a 10, at least unofficially.
Unofficially, I'm not sure. That'll probably be a 9 asterisk. And here we have the current outdoor world champion, Christopher Perkins, and he's only, how old is he? 17? 19.
Christopher, 19 years old.
19.
Won the World Archery Championships last year in Torino back in July. Oh, a tough shot to start off with.
That's
surprising.
Very surprising. I don't know what happened on that shot, and he looks as surprised as we are. Hope it doesn't happen again.
In this sport.
Because that's a very tough thing to recover from for Team Canada.
So Grimwood, 25 years old. Ranked 132nd in the world. Now Kevin White, or Chris White, excuse me. 5 World Cup medals in his career. And Duncan Busby, who was on the silver medal team at the 2009 Indoor Championships in Poland. Final 3 shots at the first end for the Canadian team.
10.
Shot.
And a 10 right there for Kevin Tatterin.
Time, Dietmar.
Dietmar Trillis now, who won a silver medal with his teammates in Torino. That was a world champion back in 2007.
10-9 liner. Spotters are calling it a 9, definitely out. Might have to look at that one a little bit closer. And Chris Perkins here.
With a 10, they'd still be trailing by 5 after the first end.
Good boy, Christopher.
Points.
Good boy.
But he gets that 10.
So interesting enough, if we look at the arrow on the left and the lower target, you can see that there's no knock on the arrow. So I think that, so there's supposed to be a white knock there.
That might explain what happened.
So that's probably what happened. His knock probably broke or something happened, but there's no knock on that arrow, which means that something was wrong. Probably broke while coming off the string, probably was hit or something on the way from the practice field to here or whatnot, but definitely not an archer error on that account. It was an equipment error for Mr. Perkins.
No knock on Great Britain because they left only 1 point out there, 59 out of a possible 60. So tremendous shooting by the team from Great Britain as they try to come up with a bronze medal here in Las Vegas. 5 10s in that first end, but the shot that we're all talking about right now was that 7 that was shot by Christopher Perkins on his first shot, and I'm sure he'll be examining his arrows.
Yeah, for sure.
When he gets them back. 54 points out of a possible 60. So a tough start for Canada here in the bronze medal match. And that's tough to recover from. There you see them marking the targets.
Oh, we got it.
Canada gets the score.
We got it.
Pick up the point, 55 for
10.
So right now it's still a 4-point lead for Great Britain. And unfortunately, that's a really tough thing to make up. I wouldn't put it past Canada to make it up, but it will be a little bit of a tough job.
Long road ahead for Team Canada right now, but there's still 18 arrows left to be shot here. You never know. You never know what can happen. So there's Great Britain trying to keep its composure right now, but feeling pretty good about the 4-point lead after the first end, up 59-55 as they go for bronze. Of course, 2 of the 3 Canadian team members have been individual world champions, Perkins in 2011, Trillis in 2007. This is Tatterin to get the party started here in the second end. Shooting from the left side.
9.
A little low first shot for Kevin Tataryn. And also, he's been a World Cup finalist, not going to the final stage, but he has been a finalist. So Team Canada definitely has a strong team out here on the field of play. A little bit high shot for Dietmar again. Both of his first arrows were high as well in relative terms, but this one is a little bit higher. So you might see Dietmar starting to move his sight after that shot.
You know, we were talking before we went on the air today about what happened to Dietmar in Shanghai last year. And we had thought it was a knock that had broken on his arrow over there, and you were telling me it wasn't that at all.
Well, if you review the video of what happened to Dietmar, you can see the arrow is not sitting on the arrow rest, so it might have fallen off as he was drawing it and he didn't notice or whatnot. So it's, I mean, it's very hard to tell, especially when you've got your tournament tunnel vision going on, but that's what happened to Dietmar. That's another 9 from Liam. Not another, sorry, that's a 9.
That's a 9.
From Liam Grimwood.
Canada picking up 28 points with the first 3 shots at the second end. As now Chris White lines up his shot.
That's an inside out 10. That is dead center. I don't know why he's putting binoculars on that one because
oh, he wants to see his hole in one.
Exactly. It's the only reason why I can think of.
I think I'd want to take a close look too myself.
A positive reassurance.
Sure. And another 10.
10 from Duncan Busby.
So Great Britain keeping the pressure on. Not letting up one little bit, despite the fact they got off to that great start.
Unofficially a 5-point lead for Great Britain over Team Canada.
And
9 or 10 too close to call from here, so that's where the 9 asterisk comes from. Let's see if...
that's why we have judges.
Exactly.
Trillis, who finished 5th in Istanbul at the World Cup Finals with a 9 right there on that shot. And they did put up a 9 asterisk on the shot before that.
Dietmar's shot still shooting high.
10 seconds.
And now Christopher Perkins, 19 years old.
With a 9 or 10 too close to call.
Tough to tell from that angle.
potential 6 or 7.
All that practice, all that work, all those hours in the backyard, and something goes awry.
Great shot.
At just the wrong time.
9 or 10 too close to call for Liam Grimwood. So judges going to have to be doing some work here when they're going for scoring.
On his last shot, White was dead solid perfect. Now just a little bit off, but still in that 10
Still
ring.
a 10. It doesn't say on the scorecard 10 a little off or 10 dead center. It just says 10. So it's still good shooting from Chris White.
It is a bottom line business. And now Duncan Busby, 29 years old, 12th in the world last June, and there you can see why. Another 10.
In the first hole that he had put there. So it's excellent shooting from Duncan Busby.
4 10s for the team from Great Britain in that second end.
Bring him up.
And they continue to pour it on here in Las Vegas. Taking a little bit of the suspense out of this match. And right now, after the first 2 ends, it is a 5-point lead for Great Britain unofficially.
But what is pretty much official is Duncan Busby is the only person on the field who is clean so far. Has not shot any 9s. He's only shot 10s, so good shooting from Duncan Busby on the Great British team.
In 2010, Busby took a team bronze medal at the World Cup event in Turkey. Also, silver medal in Shanghai. So good experience for Duncan Busby. as they retrieve the arrows here in Vegas.
Score to go to 118. Watch for Canada's
Once again,
score
shooting from 18 meters
to increase as well.
here on this field of play in what is normally a equestrian arena used for rodeo and equestrian events.
It'll be Canada
Right
shooting
now,
first on target.
Great Britain trying to ride a string of 10s to victory here.
No, I don't.
Midway through the men's compound team bronze medal match. Coming up after this, we'll have the gold medal match between USA and France. And we'll see Braden Gelantine and Rio Wild and Jimmy Butts for the first time today. But first, some business to take care of right here.
Shot.
Good
And
shot
10
from
points,
Kevin
yeah.
Deterran for Canada. Really good 10.
Well, if you're going to come back, you've got to start somewhere. And Canada is hoping that is the start of a comeback.
10.
Good shot,
Here he
Demar.
goes.
Way to go.
Demar's moved his sight up, and now he's
Go, Chris.
shooting 10s.
And it does become contagious, doesn't it?
Oh, it does, yeah.
The confidence hopefully transferring to Chris Perkins,
10.
Good job,
who
guys.
really
Good job.
emerged on the scene in Torino last summer. Before he won that world championship, he was ranked 176th in the world. It's amazing what a world championship will do for your world ranking.
Oh, yeah. I'm still waiting for that.
It shall come. Grimwood.
Come on, Marty.
And if for some reason Great Britain can't find that 10 ring here with these next two shots, then things will tighten up considerably.
9.
And there's another 9.
Interesting.
So White with a 9, Grimwood with a 9, but as you said, Busby's been clean thus far.
Thus far.
10.
That's another 10 from Busby.
Oh.
That's a clutch shot right there by Busby. But still, after the first 3 arrows of this third end, the Canadian team has picked up a couple of points.
Ten.
10
Hey, Demar,
points.
lots
Good
of time,
shot from
45.
Kevin Deterran.
Canada ironing out some of the problems after digging a hole in the first end.
10.
And
Good boy.
another
Good
10
job.
by Dietmar Trillis. That's 5 consecutive bullseyes by Canada.
Lots of time, Chris.
You can hear the coach telling Chris Perkins, take his time. More than 50 national and Canadian championship records so
Looks
far.
good, guys. Looks
That's
good.
great
Across
shooting
the
by
board.
Canada.
And that's, well,
You can't do it any better
can't
than
do
that.
better than that, exactly. And
6
so,
straight 10s.
I mean, Canada's gained 2 points back from Great Britain at least if Great Britain shoots all 10s.
Be interesting to see how Great Britain responds now.
Shot.
9.
Now there's a 9.
That is a 9, yep.
Now they put the asterisk by it, so it's possibly a 10, but at the moment it's a 9. And if Great Britain shoots 9s from here on out in this end, we'll have a little bit of suspense and drama heading down the stretch.
10.
There's a 10 though. Big shot by the big guy, Chris White, who again marvels at his work. Let's see if Busby stays clean.
Shot.
Just out.
All right, guys.
So close.
6 good shots.
So close.
So Canada has brought it back to unofficially a 2-point deficit.
What did they pick up? 4 points in that end
Picked
right
up
there?
a whole bunch of points with the 60, so it's good shooting by Team Canada. Still 2 points to make up, which means that they have to shoot another 60, and Great Britain has to shoot a 57 for Canada to win.
Remaining in this bronze medal
Had it
final.
not been for that 7, on the third shot of the first end for Canada. This would be a far different match right now, but it's far from being over right now. 174-172. So the 6-point lead that Canada had, or I should say that Great Britain had at the midway point, is now down to just 2 points, 174-172. And again, if Canada can keep up this shooting, and they shot 6 straight tens in that third. In fact, if you go back to the second end, they've shot 7 consecutive tens.
Going into the final end.
7 straight bullseyes for Canada to get themselves back into contention.
But knowing these guys, they can do a whole lot more than just 7. So we'll see what happens here in the final end of regulation scoring. And see if Team Canada can really put the pressure on Team Great Britain.
Okay, gentlemen, let's repeat.
So going down to the wire here in Las Vegas, as Canada will try to cash in if they can. A good look at the implements these archers use. Highly sophisticated compound bows.
10.
Arrows, and there's another 10. Your countrymen doing you proud right now, coming back.
It's a tough situation, but I have faith in these guys that they can definitely bring it back.
A shot.
Another 10 for Deep
Time,
Martrillis.
Chris.
And so here's Perkins, who set an indoor world record in a senior age event with 599 points. That was last year in March from the same distance of 18 meters.
Ten points.
So 3 tens to start off the fourth and final end.
And it's definitely bringing it down to the wire for Great Britain, because Canada showing their strength here, even after a 7, coming back and keeping it within 2 points.
That's a big shot right there for Liam Grimwood. Now Chris White trying to keep Canada at bay in the fourth and final end. Another 10
points. Dead center for Chris White. He's probably going to take a look at that through his binoculars.
Great Britain rising to the challenge. And Canada did challenge them after falling behind by 6 points at the midway point of this match. But there's 3 straight tens right there. So Great Britain really rising to the occasion. And all Canada can hope for is 3 tens to finish this off, and then hope that Great Britain's just a little bit off with their final 3 shots.
Okay,
10 points again.
Tatarin with some great shooting.
Lots of time.
Same for Deep Martrillis.
Attaboy.
10 points.
Okay, Christopher. Lots of time, Chris. 15 seconds.
So with the clock winding down, Christopher Perkins
10
lines it up. Peers through his sight. Needs the 10.
Final arrow.
And scores a 9.
9 points for Christopher Perkins. He's not happy with that at all. And that opens the door for Great Britain. That's 3-point lead for Great Britain unofficially.
So they need 28 points basically here to wrap this up.
That's the 10 we need.
That's
There's the 10.
2 9s will take the match.
Yep.
And as you can see from the
They
hole
haven't been
pattern,
outside the center ring all day.
exactly. So, but again,
One would
anything
think.
can happen.
Yep.
Great shot. God, Duncan.
But what happens is White drills another 10.
Now for Duncan Busby, an 8 will win the match.
Busby has been on target all day long. Duncan Busby for the win. Yes.
So matter 10 or a 9.
Oh,
It's
it's
close
nice.
to call, but it doesn't matter. Great Britain still wins the match.
Yeah.
So congratulations to the gentlemen from across the pond, but hats off to the folks from up north. The Canadians hanging in there and very gamely making a match of this after falling behind by 6 points.
Congratulations.
After the first 12 arrows. They came back, though, put a string of, what was it, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, I believe 12 consecutive 10s to get back into this thing. And instead of falling by 6, they end up winding up 2 points short. But they came up 2 points short, and I guess if you really look back at it, it's that 7 in that first end that was shot by Christopher Perkins when something went wrong with the equipment.
And that's an unfortunate thing, and you can't exactly call an equipment failure on arrow problems. It just doesn't, it's not allowed. And even for an equipment failure on your bow, they don't allow you time to fix your bow.
So a master craftsman never blames his tools.
Exactly. So you have to be able to just turn around and pick up another bow if that was the case. But in this case, it was an arrow malfunction on the part of Christopher Perkins, and unfortunately, that could have cost them the match right there.
So Great Britain with the win, and we congratulate them on the victory as they win by 2 after leading by 6 at the midway point. Canada staging a furious comeback and getting it close, making it a little bit suspenseful in the closing moments in the final 2 ends. But I guess you expect really nothing less when you reach this level at this point of this kind of competition. We are at the World Championships, the World Indoor Championships, the finals. They fought so hard to get here. Teams aren't going to quit.
Exactly. So these teams are going to be relentless and going to be tenacious in what they're doing. And all of them want to go back home with the medals. And the next match that we're going to see is going to be a really good example of that, with Team USA going for the gold medal match against Team France.
So after Great Britain picks up the bronze medal, now we'll find out who's going to strike gold here in Las Vegas in the men's compound team competition. And this will be an interesting one between the United States and France. So USA will be on target number 1. France will be on target number 2. Team USA featuring Jimmy Butts, Braden Gelantine, and Rio Wild. We'll introduce you to those gentlemen in just a moment. They defeated the Ukrainian team by 11 and Mexico by 9, then Canada by 2 to get here. That's Rio Wild in the middle. And on the right, Braden Gelantine, and on the left, you see Jimmy Butts. Jimmy, a real veteran, been around for quite some time on the scene. So it's Butts, Wild, and Gelantine before this crowd here in South Point Hotel Resort. On the south end of the strip, by the way, in Las Vegas, Nevada. And there's the team from France, Guillaume Rouven, Sebastien Pinot, and Pierre-Julien Deloche. Julien Deloche, perhaps the best known of the 3 archers on this team, as he took a good look at the arrows, the fletching, and the nocks, which I'm sure they'll be examining, taking a close look at before each of the ends. The French got here by outscoring Ireland by 8, then finished off Finland by 4 in the quarterfinals and got by Great Britain by 2.
So definitely going to be a really tight match that we're going to see here between France and the U.S., all experienced shooters. The U.S. team has got a very deep pool of compound archers to pick from. I think we might be going through some technical difficulties with the announcing, so just bear with us. But we'll still be calling the arrows from here.
So the horn sounds, and we're just about set for action here in the men's compound team gold medal match. USA has had great success, and there's Rio, boy, stepping up very quickly.
So Rio's he's a shooter with lots of intent.
There you go.
Rio, 38 years old, ranked second in the world. Won in Singapore to start the indoor season. Won a gold medal in the individual competition. And a good, strong, solid shot for Rio Wild out of Pocatello, Idaho to get the match started. Now it's Jimmy Butts, 44 years old. Has been ranked as high as 114th in the world. Won the Arizona Cup back in 2010. And
that's a 9, just high of the 10 ring for Jimmy.
Just a tad high. I enjoy watching Braden Galantine. He brings a lot of emotion, a lot of fire to this sport. Very intense. And it pays off with a 10. Good start for Braden Galantine, all of 25 years old. Had 2 gold medals at the second stage of the World Cup in Turkey last year, a gold medal in Croatia. Now we go to the team from France.
That's a 9 for France.
Deloche.
Best they can do right now is tie with 2 10s.
Deloche, by the way, turning 30 this week here in Las Vegas. Can't think of too many better places to have a birthday than Las Vegas. There's a 9 for Ruben. Now Penaud, 25 years old, unranked at this point. His best ranking was back in 2005 when he was 103rd in the world. No major medals on his resume as of yet, but what a great shot.
That is an awesome shot down the center and keeping it close within 1 point of the team from the United States. And here we go with Rio Wild. Multiple world championships under his belt. I can't even name them all. But he definitely knows how to get the job done.
It is a long resume, and with good reason.
There's another 10 from Rio Wild.
Captured the silver medal at the World Cup Finals in Istanbul last fall. And was part of the U.S. gold medal team in Torino at the World Championships last July. Jimmy Butts now lining up the shot.
That's a 10 on the line. It's in.
Drawing cheers from the partisan crowd here in Las Vegas. Lots of friends, family members, teammates on hand. As the man wearing the Boston Red Sox cap.
That's inside out.
He throws a strike right down the middle of the plate.
Right down there. Yeah, that's a good analogy right there. But Braden Galantine, definitely a very focused shooter when he gets up there on the shooting line, and nobody can stop him from shooting 10s.
Deloche ranked 8th of the world.
Nice 10 from Pierre-Julien Deloche. These two teams almost matching shot for shot here in the first end of the gold medal match in the men's compound team competition. There's another 10. Best France can do is keep it within 1 point of the United States.
The U.S. raised the ante with 4 straight 10s to finish the first end. The French trying to counter.
And a 9. So 2-point lead unofficially for Team USA going into the second end over France.
So Penaud with a 9 to finish off that first end. As Team USA goes up by 2 points in the men's compound team competition. And this is our final match in the team competition today. In case you're just joining us, Great Britain defeated Canada in the men's compound team bronze competition. In the women's compound team gold medal match, it was Team USA with a victory by 3 points over Russia. Great Britain won by 3 points in the women's compound team bronze medal match, defeating Italy. We'll run down the rest of the winners as soon as this match is over, but it has been a great morning or early afternoon, depending upon where you are in the world watching on YouTube. But here in Las Vegas, been a great morning for the United States team, as they have picked up several gold medals already, and they're looking for even more right now. A gold rush here in the American West, As you see the score, 59-57. The Americans on top by virtue of those 4 tens, 4 straight tens to finish off the first end. Rio sharing a laugh with his teammates, Jimmy Butts and Braden Galantine, while Pierre-Julien Deloche maintains his poker face.
Well, France is trailing the U.S. right now, so they'll be shooting first on target number 2.
Allez, PJ.
And there's Pierre-Julien Deloche stepping up to the line first for Team France.
He just equaled the French record back on January 15th with a score of 597. That was in an indoor club competition in France.
So he's a good shooter.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Allez, PJ.
In fact, it's great. That's a great shot right there.
Allez, comme celle d'avant. On construit, on sac et on maintient.
Now Ruben, 34 years old, out to win his first medal on the international stage. Big, tall archer. And he finds the center of the target as well.
Tu prends le temps de bien poser. Hein. On précipite pas les choses, on construit bien en ligne.
Sébastien Penaud. Hoping he's got it dialed in, and I'll say he has.
Bon, les gars, vous êtes dans le match là, c'est bon.
Definitely dead center. And keeping it alive for Team France with a perfect 30 out of 30 for those 3 shots.
Okay, so USA, let's see what you've got.
C'est tiré impeccable.
The Frenchmen have shown their cards here at the start of the second end. They were trailing by 2 after the first end, but there's Real Wild. Calm, cool, collected. Steps up, nails a 10.
Tout y va bene. Allez,
Jimmy Watts keeping pace.
Definitely when you can keep pace with Real Wild, that's a good feat that you've got going on there. It's a good accomplishment. And here's another man that can do that, Braden Galantine.
Camera zoomed in, and it looks so close to the target.
Allez, PJ.
I tell you what, it looks pretty. I think that target looks pretty good and pretty big to Braden Galantine right now too.
Well, he's probably got a dot forming right in the middle of the target, and so he's just focusing on that little black hole.
Black hole, yeah. There's the release. Good look at the grip on that release.
Ouais, PJ.
10 points, dead
Allez,
center.
Guillaume. Les règles de base, on construit, on sac, on prolonge.
Deloche has been outstanding.
Voilà, bien saqué dedans.
As has Ruben.
Et on attient jusqu'au bout.
Guillaume Ruben.
Ouais.
A little bit high that
Bon,
time.
la démarche, elle est bonne, c'est bon. Faut avoir peur de faire
Might
des
have jumped the gun on that release just a little bit.
Allez, Seb.
Released a little too soon.
I think it looks like he's almost, as soon as he feels the trigger, he brings his index finger down onto the trigger, and as soon as he feels it, he kind of punches it through. So that's the type of punching that I was saying before, that it makes you anticipate the shot. And if you're anticipating the shot, you could kind of give a little flinch as the arrow's leaving the bow, and that's a really bad thing to have happen, and doesn't let you be centered and stay in the 10 ring.
All things considered, though, for the French, that is an excellent end. 5 10s and 1 9, but the Americans relentless right now.
C'est nous qui redémarrons.
4 straight 10s to start the second end. And Team USA trying to build on that 2-point advantage they had after the first end, as they bid for another gold medal for Team USA.
10 or 9, too
That
close
looks
to
like
call.
a 10.
They call it 9 asterisks. So unofficially, the best USA can do is tie for this end.
Plus dur est de démarrer. Là, vous êtes bien dans l'esprit.
Yep,
That's a 10.
That'll do it.
Yeah,
I think that works.
it definitely works. And if Jimmy Butt's second arrow is called in, that'll be a 60 for Team USA.
I'm not tall enough to tell.
Which would be able to bring them ahead just by 1 more point.
So both teams regroup, talk it over, compare notes, get set for the third end. By the way, coming up at We'll use the military clock, 15:30, because I'm sure we have folks watching from around the world.
Audio check, 1, 2, 3,
But
4.
around 15:30, which in Las Vegas will be 3:30 our time. We'll begin the junior competition. We'll have the junior individual finals, and that'll be followed almost immediately by the senior individual finals. So a great deal of archery yet to come here on YouTube today. The World Archery Indoor Championship Finals.
And as you can hear, we've got our audio back for our announcer, George Tekmachov, doing the official introductions
to the folks here in the arena. Of course, you've already come to know them.
I think that's the first time we've had an introduction halfway through the match.
Better late than never. So Team USA off to another strong start. They were ahead by 2 after the first end. And picked up apparently 1 more point in the second end and lead by 3, 119 to 116.
Allez, PJ.
And here we go for the third end of this gold medal match.
Got his 30th birthday during the competition.
So there's Pierre-Julien Deloche,
Allez,
who
PJ.
did turn 30 this week. Was hoping to celebrate here in the
Et c'est parti.
men's compound team gold medal match. And may yet. But not if the Americans have much to say about it. There's
9
Deloche with a 9.
points. Yeah.
Deloche, who won 2 silver medals in 2007, 2008, 1 bronze in 2009 in the team events at the Indoor World Championships. So he has taken home some hardware from these Indoor World Championships. There's a great shot by Ruben.
Allez, 7.
Guillaume
Allez.
finding the 10 ring and hoping that his teammate Penaud can do the same. Good look at that sight.
Allez.
10-9 liner.
10-9. It's they're calling it a 10.
It appears to be on the line.
That's what
at least from our
spotters are
vantage
calling.
point.
So yep, that's a 10.
So a 9 and 2 10s.
T'as 63 les autres tours.
And the ball is back in Rio Wild's court right now.
World champion
Good
Rio
shot.
Wild,
10 points. Rio Wild clean so far.
Little fist bump for Braden Gelantine. Says, son, that's how it's done.
Braden probably just says, I'll show you how it's done as well.
Jimmy Watts now.
World champion Jimmy Butts with a 10.
Looks like he's on the line as well.
9. I think so.
Now the 25-year-old marketing major, Braden Gelantine.
Champion Braden
Marked at this.
Goes back to Rio. Yep, I know how to shoot 10s.
Allez, ça souffle et c'est grand et fort tout de suite. Là. Ah, c'est là que
3
c'est grand.
straight
Allez.
10s for the Americans. Here in the third end, they led by 3 midway through the match. And they picked up at least 1 more point at this juncture of the gold medal match.
9.
The showdown with the team from France. Once again, it's Guillaume Ruben,
Allez,
Sébastien Penaud, and
bien.
Pierre-Julien Deloche competing for
On
France.
tient jusqu'au bout.
The United States, Jimmy Butts, Braden Gelantine, and Rio Wild. Now this is Ruben. And Ruben,
It's a good shot.
he has been a tower of power today. He has really shot well.
9.
You could see the disappointment on
There
the
you
face
go,
of
yeah.
Penaud as soon as he let it fly.
That's unfortunate for the team from France because the U.S. can take a potential 6-point lead here after these next 3 arrows.
The green arrow.
Dead center.
There we go.
That's what we'll have to start calling Rio.
I think that's a different color bow.
Yeah,
But I have heard him call his green bow the Hulk and his orange bow the Thing.
the thing, huh?
Ouais, 2 flèches chacun à tirer. On met le max. Après, son point de base.
10 center. Nice shot.
Jimmy Watts coming through. And the United States on its way to another gold medal, perhaps. It looks good at this point as Braden Gelantine lines up his shot.
Yep.
6 10s, count them. 6 in a row.
American Compound team is definitely putting it down and showing everybody how to shoot 10s and how it's done. And this is awesome shooting from the team from the United States of America.
So we have finished 3 ends, and it is, as you said, Crispin, a 6-point lead for the United States, 179 to 173. Crispin Duenas from Canada joining yours truly, Carl Archery, here in Las Vegas.
And 6 more arrows to determine who takes home the gold and who takes home the silver. But right now, as it's looking, Team USA holding on to a 6-point lead over Team France unofficially. And I mean, that's going to be tough for Team France to come back from. But I mean, once again, like we've seen already today, anything is possible. But right now, it's a very, very, very tough situation for Team France.
To make the baseball analogy, it's the bottom of the 9th, and France is down by 6 runs. So, barring a major collapse by the American squad, Wild on the right, Watts in the middle, Gelantine on the left, the far left. Barring a major collapse, and the fact that they have hit, what is it now? 6, 12, 16. They have hit 16 straight bullseyes. In fact, they have only missed the 10 ring on 1 of their first 18 shots. Their worst score is a 9, and they have only 1. So it's just been outstanding shooting as Pierre-Julien Deloche draws back the bowstring.
9.
It's a 9, about 3 millimeters outside of the left of the 10 ring.
You've been in this situation before, I'm sure, Crispin. What do you focus on? Where's your mind at this point?
At this point, it's just focusing on doing a proper shot, executing a proper shot. You don't want to tell yourself, you know, I need this amount of score to win or to come back or do whatever. But I mean, definitely telling yourself that you shoot 10s and that you know, whatever is part of your process of how to shoot an arrow. That's what you want to be focusing on.
So forget about the score overall in the match.
Exactly.
Forget about the situation, what's going on.
It's just arrow to arrow. You don't want to go for the outcome. You just want to focus on what's in front of you right now.
10.
10 points.
Real Wild keeps it rolling here in Vegas, where the USA has not missed the center of the target since their second shot in the first end.
Nice.
Another 10. Now it's just a matter of what the final score is going to be.
These guys really know how to shoot.
Unbelievable performance. And you know that none of them wants to be the one who scores anything less than a 10.
Yeah. But I'm sure they've already forgiven Jimmy for his 9 in the first end. But, I mean, you can't do anything about it now, and all you can do is look at what you're supposed to do.
9.
So a 9 for Pierre-Julien Deloche. Obviously disappointed with that shot and with the way this match has gone, as the Frenchman came in here hoping for gold and will settle for silver.
So as his fingers touches it, it just goes.
9.
So he's kind of leaning into that trigger a little bit more than you're supposed to. What you're technically supposed to do is just put your finger onto the trigger and slowly squeeze it off. But as soon as his finger touches, he pulls it off.
9, 10 points rather, 10.
10 points to finish off for France. And it's that punching off and really leaning into that trigger that can cause a little bit of a jump or a jolt in the shot.
Well, the only suspense right now is whether the USA can run the table.
10.
Nice shot.
And Real Wild seems to think they can.
Well, Real Wild shooting clean for the whole match.
You know, in fairness to the French archers, there's not much you can do
No.
when your opponent is shooting like this.
Exactly. You can't really feel bad about your shooting after this.
9.
Close. Very close.
Very close, but
Very close.
I mean, it's okay. All Braden has to do is hit the target.
Championship.
It's over. It is over.
238 out of a possible 240. Team USA wins the gold medal.
Most
Again.
days that'll get the job done, and they got it done today here. Big hugs. And some happy campers down there.
You guys are awesome.
And you heard it right there. You guys are awesome. I'm not sure that we could add much more to that.
I don't think these guys will be going for brownies and ice cream as
I was
much
going
as,
to say, I'm not sure that brownies and ice cream is quite what they had in mind.
it's probably a huge steak or something, but
After the victory ceremony.
The question is, who's buying?
yeah. Oh, maybe the coach should buy.
So Real Wild on your screen on the right, Jimmy Butts on your left, getting their arrows back, and there's Braden Gelantine, and those guys will huddle up and smile for the camera. It's another golden moment here in the city where you hope to cash in. You can only hope to cash in the way that those three cashed in today. They hit the jackpot and came up with a huge score. 238 out of 240, nothing for the team from France to be disconsolate about. They end up with a score of 230 out of a possible 240 points, so they lose by 8 in the gold medal match. But on this day, I'm not sure there was anybody out there who would have beaten these three archers for the United States. Jimmy Butts, Braden Gelantine, and Rio Wild. So after defeating the Ukraine by 11 and Mexico by 9 and Canada by 2, they defeat France by 8, 238 to 230.
Definitely good shooting by all in this gold medal match, and it's a great thing to see Team USA only dropping 2 points out of a possible 240, and I predict great things to come from Team USA.
So rather lopsided affair here in the men's compound team gold medal match, but only because of the mastery by the men from the United States. Out of the 24 arrows they shot, 22 were dead center in the center ring. As my pal Crispin Duenas joins me here on the broadcast, and glad to have you alongside as well this morning.
It's always a pleasure to work with you again and again.
And hopefully one of these days we're going to get you on one of these broadcasts, and I'll have a different broadcast partner.
Yeah, hopefully I'll be shooting one of these
Yes.
days, but I mean, it's what can I do?
Oh, you'll get there. It'll happen. It will come through. And I'm sure that you'll be out there, and I'll be talking about the 10s that you'll be shooting for Team Canada as they ready the stage here in Las Vegas for the awarding of the medals, and a lot of hardware to be given out here today. We'll recap and run it down for you just in case you're joining us here. We've had the team competition this morning. Coming up this afternoon in Las Vegas, at least Las Vegas time, we'll have the junior individual finals as well as the senior individual finals. But this morning it was all about teamwork and working together. In the women's recurve team bronze medal match, Russia took on Italy, and Italy came away with a 2-point victory. Then in the women's recurve team gold medal match, it was USA against Japan, and USA won that match by 5 points, 225 to 220. And I think that was kind of a sign of things to come, kind of set the tone of the day for Team USA.
Yeah, and I mean, for Team USA to walk away with 4 gold medals, 100% success rate here in the team rounds, it's just an awesome thing to see. And also it can show you what, especially in the recurve division, what's going to be possibly coming up for the Olympics later on this year.
Yeah, it is a good indication of what is in store for the Olympics, which will be this coming August. at Lord Crickett's Field in London, which I understand they have sold out all 63,000 tickets already for
that's
the
what
archery.
I hear that all tickets have been sold and are sold out. And I hear a rumor, but I'm not sure. Either A, people love archery in Great Britain, or B, Lord's Cricket Field is such a prestigious elite club that nobody can get onto the field unless they're a member or related to a member or a descendant of a member or like whatever of that. But to be able to buy a ticket and get onto Lord's Cricket Field would be an easier way to get there. So I hear the rumor that that's why the tickets have been sold out. I don't want to put it past them that they don't like their archery, but those are the rumors that I hear. I'm hoping that they all like archery.
The other rumor that I hear is that now in London and in England, archery is the #1 sport amongst young people, the sport that they want to learn and take up the most, which is saying something. If that's true, and archery has surpassed football, as we call it everywhere except the United States, if it has surpassed archery, take a good look at Brady Ellison's mother and fiance. If that's true, then that's saying a lot about this sport and where this sport is headed.
We're definitely growing.
No, I think there's no question about that. And again, it was a great example of it here today. We saw a 56-year-old grandmother competing for Great Britain. We also saw youngsters in their teens and their early 20s competing out here. You and I have seen para-archers who have competed and shoot amazingly well. So this is a sport. In fact, there's Nicola Simpson right there in the middle in the first row, awaiting her gold medal with her teammates here in Las Vegas. But I think that's the appeal of this sport. Anybody at any age, in any circumstance, can take this sport up and get great enjoyment from it.
And you can take it up as a youngster and have it last with you for a really, really, really long time. Just because you can just keep going. It's not like gymnastics where you're done by the time you're 16, or you can't play football anymore. American football, not soccer, but kind of the same deal, because like you get joint problems and endurance problems and all that stuff. But archery is such a nice sport.
Ladies and gentlemen, the victory
last
ceremony
for that long.
for the women's recurve.
It can be a lifetime sport, and people are beginning to realize that, and I think we'll see that in London this coming summer. And some of the other winners today in the men's recurve team bronze medal match, Mexico against the Ukraine. It was the Ukrainian team winning handily in that match, defeating the team from Mexico. We'll see them on the victory stand here in just a moment. But first, we'll have the award ceremony for our women's recurve team bronze medal match. This is the match that got the day started. Russia facing Italy. And in that match, Italy wound up winning by 2. Gwendolina Sartori, Elena Tonetta, and Natalia Valeva working
Bronze
together
medals
to defeat
by
Russia,
Mr.
the
Tom
team
Dillon,
of Natalia
World Archery
Erdinayeva,
General.
Kasina Perova,
Silver
and
medals
Dinara
were presented by Mr.
Yanbarosova.
Greg Easton,
Tom
President
Dillon,
of
the
Jazz
Secretary
Easton.
General of World Archery.
Gold
You saw him
medals
just
were
a moment ago
presented
on the
by
left.
Denise Parker,
There is Tom Dillon
USA
right there,
Archery CEO.
our Secretary General.
Bronze
will be
medal
participating
representing
in the
Italy.
award ceremony. So the bronze medal goes to the
Gwendolina
Italians.
Sartori.
Tonetta, and Valeva. They reached the bronze medal match by beating the Georgians 230 to 223.
Elena Tonetta.
Had a very close battle with Team USA. In fact, they were tied at 225 after the 4 ends,
Champion
but
of
then
the world,
lost the
Natalia
tiebreaker.
Valeva.
Wound up in the bronze medal match and wound up defeating the team from Russia by 2. So they acknowledge the crowd
Silver
here in
medal.
Las Vegas
Japan.
as we get set for the presentation of the silver medals to the team from Japan.
Kanye Miki.
So Miki
Nagaoka
Nagaoka.
Mitsui.
and Mai
Okubo Mai.
accepting her silver medal as well as the roses.
Gold medal and champions the United
They
States
came a long way
of
and they'll go
America.
home with silver medals. While the gold medal will stay here in the United States as the women's recurve team of Brandy Deloche, Miranda Leak, and Jennifer Nichols stand atop the victory stand.
Miranda Leak.
It's interesting, you look back on how they got here, and had it not been for their clutch performance against Italy, they might not be standing on top of the victory stand right now.
I mean, every arrow that you shoot counts, and every experience that you do, you learn something from it. So I think Team USA has learned something from their close match with Italy.
Ladies and gentlemen, the national
because of that
anthem
close
of
match,
the United States of
it
America.
makes them stronger.
Please give a warm round of applause for our athletes. Coming up next, our victory ceremony for recurve men.
So congratulations to all 9 archers on the victory stand right there. Team USA winning the gold, Japan the silver, and Italy takes home the bronze. From the World Archery Indoor Championship Finals here in Las Vegas, Nevada at the South Point Hotel on the south end of the Strip. A wonderful property if you're ever in this area. A great place to stay and come and enjoy Las Vegas. The gambling, the entertainment. If you've got kids in the family, as Crispin mentioned, 64 bowling lanes and 16 movie theaters.
Lots of slot machines that I can't count.
And lots of restaurants as well.
Yeah, great food.
Well, wonderful food. We have not gone hungry here in Las Vegas. There's no question about that. So now we'll get set for the continuation of our award ceremony. Here in this arena where we will see the junior finals a little bit later on today, followed by the senior finals. And there will be some great matches there.
For the men's recurve team event
so now we get into the men's recurve team competition. In that bronze medal match, it was Mexico taking on Ukraine, and the Ukrainians won handily in that match by 7 points, 234 to 227. And then in the gold medal match, it was USA taking on Russia. Brady Ellison, Jake Kaminsky, Vic Wonderly teaming up to take on Bear Badanov, Alexei Borodin, and Beljanima Sorimpolov.
The bronze medals will be presented by Mr. Shane Micheli, President of Easton Technical Products. Silver medals will be presented by Michel Philippe Bouclet, World Archery Vice President. Gold medals
and in that
will be presented
gold
by
medal match,
Mr.
the team
Mario
from the
Scarzella,
United States won
World
by
Archery
2
First
points,
Vice
233 to 231.
Bronze medal, Ukraine.
So the Ukrainian team, led by Victor Rubin, accepting the
Yuri
bronze
Havelko.
medals.
Yaroslav Morkrinsky. Olympic champion, Victor Rubin. Silver medal, Russian Federation. Thayer Badanov. Alexei Borodin. Valjinma Cherempalov. Gold medal and champions of the world, the United States of America. Brady Ellison. Jake Kaminsky. Victor Wonderly.
Literally hats off by the Americans.
They did. They had an awesome performance here.
Of the United States of America. Gentlemen, please give a warm round of applause for our athletes. Our next victory ceremony coming up in just a moment for the Compound Women's Team event.
So more gold for the United States.
And more to come.
And more to come. Although, in the women's compound team bronze medal match, Great Britain came away with the win there, 227 to 224. Tight match between Italy and Great Britain. In the first match between these teams in recent years, and Great Britain came away with a 3-point win. As Andrea Gales, Naomi Jones, and the 56-year-old grandmother, Nicola Simpson, came through with the victory there. Then in the women's compound team gold medal match, just more outstanding shooting. Pinpoint precision by the Americans, Erica Anschutz, Christy Collin, and Trista Scarvin. And they were able to best the Russian squad by 3 points, 229 to 226. And the victory sign here from the crowd in Las Vegas as we get set for the presentation of the medals in the women's team compound competition. Bronze going to Great Britain, silver going to Russia, and again the gold medal going to the United States. Good look at the archers from Britain.
Bronze medals will be presented by Mr. Tom Dillon, Secretary General of World Archery. Silver medals will be presented by Denise Parker, USA Archery CEO and Olympic medalist. Gold medals will be presented by Mr. Greg Easton, President of Jazz D. Easton. Bronze medal representing Great Britain.
So Secretary General Tom Dillon presented the bronze medals to Great Britain. And as we said before, more souvenirs for these ladies to take back home.
Just hope it doesn't weigh down their luggage on the way home.
That's true.
Naomi Jones.
I don't think I'm packing those medals in my suitcase. I think I'm carrying those on board.
It's actually easier to travel with the medals in your backpack
Yeah.
as you travel. Makes customs a little easier too.
I'm sure it does. Do you have anything to declare?
Russian Federation.
Yes,
I do. The Russian Federation, well done. Great job here in Las Vegas. Came up 3 points short, but they get the silver medal. And there's Denise Parker, an historic figure in U.S. Archery. Now in charge of U.S. Archery. Grew up in Salt Lake City, Utah. And I think was 15 years old when she went to her first Olympics.
Definitely a legend from the United States. I used to look up to her when I was younger. I still look up to her.
You still look up to her. I do too.
But physically, when I was younger, I was short, so I had to look up to her as well.
Well, everybody's looking up at these three young ladies. Erica Anschutz was outstanding today. Doing a tremendous job. That was Greg Easton.
Christy Cullen.
From the company that provides most of the arrows to most of these archers, along with the bows. Hoyt.
Hoyt, yep.
Yes. Christy Collin in the middle, and Tristan Scarvin.
The national anthem of the United States of America. Round of applause for our athletes, ladies and gentlemen, in our next final victory ceremony. Before we conclude the victory ceremonies for the morning session, will be the men's compound.
So as we get set for the final presentation of medals here in Las Vegas on what has been a clean sweep in the team competition, I think it's worth mentioning, at least, Crispin, that the Koreans were not here.
Yeah, I don't know why, but they rarely come out to indoor competitions. I think they're more focused on the 70-meter game.
Right.
And a lot of recurve archers here are already focusing on their 70-meter game, and which is why you've probably seen a little shake-up in the results of who you usually see winning and not winning. But that's a lot of the reason is because 70 meters, the angle at which you hold your arm is much different than the 18-meter angle. And
it's a different game.
It's a different game. There's I want to hit the 10 ring versus I want to not miss the 10 ring. So that can play a lot into the mental aspect of how a shooter shoots these types of rounds. I know that when I'm in indoor season, I would shoot. I practice 18 meters much more than I would practice 70 meters. But since this is my last indoor shoot for the year, from here on in, it's 70 meters for me at home.
Of the World Archery
and as we get into the outdoor season, we'll see some other archers from other countries that may not be here, and the game will change a little bit, and obviously the Koreans will be a major factor as we get into the outdoor season, especially at the Olympics.
Yes, exactly, because they have been practicing 70 meters. I know that sometimes they shoot from inside a building out a window to a target 70 meters away outside in the snow, so they're always getting their training through hot, through cold, through whatever nature can throw at them, and that's why they're number one in the world. But as we can see here, like some Brady Ellison and Jake Kaminsky, they're really coming up with other shooters from around the world that are not Korean and that can still put it down in the competition. So with a kind of a little bias to the Korean archers at the Olympics, there's still going to be a component of other archers that can do well that are not Korean.
So we may not see the domination that we've seen in the past.
Exactly.
Silver medals.
It's going to be interesting this summer, no question about that. But here today in Las Vegas, it is a clean sweep for Team USA.
World Archery First Vice President.
The outdoor archery season coming up starting in April in Shanghai at World Cup competition over there in Shanghai in China. Then in May, we'll move on to Antalya, Turkey. In June, it will be Ogden, Utah. And then you folks will get about a month or so off to get ready for the trip over to London for the Olympics.
Right. Yep. Although we're not going to be having a month off, obviously. We're going to.
Oh, you'll be practicing, I'm sure.
As many local competitions as we can make. And that'll be my training regimen for that period of time.
So our final medals being presented here this morning in Las Vegas, and what has turned into this afternoon in Las Vegas, the men's compound team competition.
France.
The silver medal going to France, Guillaume Ruben, Sébastien Penaud, and Pierre-Julien Deloche. The bronze medals already presented to the team from Great Britain, which won by 2 after leading early in the match by 6, but they held on to beat Team Canada. So Great Britain getting the bronze, France gets the silver, and the gold medals will go to Team USA, which finished off this morning's round of team competition in great fashion. Jimmy Butts, Braden Gellantine, and Rio Wild combining to put on a tremendous display of shooting.
Gold medal, champions
out of
the
24
world,
arrows, only
United
2
States of America.
were outside the 10 ring. And there you see Jimmy Butts on the left, Rio Wild with his hat off on the right, and Braden Gellantine still with that Boston Red Sox cap on. He must think it's going to be a good season for the Sox.
Braden Gellantine. Rio Wild.
So all 4 gold medals in the team competition going to the archers from the United States. And if you haven't learned the words to the United States national anthem by now, we'll give you one more opportunity.
Thank you for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. Join us again at 3:30 this afternoon as we will commence competition again. Our next round will be the
That will be, by the way, 3:30 Las Vegas time. It's 15:30 for everybody else around the world. And we'll be back for the junior individual finals. And then almost immediately after that, we'll have our senior individual finals. And some great matchups are coming up a little bit later on tonight in that competition. What are you looking forward to tonight in the individual competition?
I mean, it's going to be really fun to see Jake Kaminsky try to dominate and take over where Brady has usually been the dominator for the sport. It'll be fun to see Natalia Valeva back in the swing of things because, I mean, she's been around for so long and still competing at this high level. So it's, I mean, there's going to be really good shooting that'll be had this afternoon, and looking forward to seeing it.
We are as well. We hope you'll come back and join us. We'll have matchups between Perova and Folkart from Great Britain. That'll be in the women's recurve bronze medal match. In the women's recurve gold medal match, Miranda Leak taking on the aforementioned Natalia Valeva from Italy. That'll be a great matchup. Brady Ellison will go for a bronze medal, taking on Dornhofer. And that one will precede the match between Jake Kaminsky and Marco Galeazzo, who you faced this week, Galeazzo in competition.
And he beat me in a tie-breaking arrow, but I mean, that's the way the ball rolls. So I'm just looking forward to seeing how he does, because you always want to be beat out by the guy who wins the whole thing.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
I can understand how you feel about that. In the women's compound bronze medal match, it'll be Christy Collin taking on Linda Ochoa from Mexico. In the compound gold medal match for the women, Inga Van Kaspel against Victoria Balzanova. Not as familiar, at least I'm not, and I'm not sure if our viewers from around the world are as familiar with Van Kaspel. What can you tell us about her?
I know that she's starting to really rise up on the international scene, but again, that's the compound side of things, and I'm not very affluent with the compound stuff, but it's still going to be a really good match no matter what, because they've made it this far. So it's definitely a good thing for them.
We'll all find out together. And then in the men's compound, in the bronze medal match, it'll be Ruben from France against Ricardo Fierro from Mexico. In the men's compound gold medal match, Jimmy Butts against Rio Wild for an all-American affair. So it should be great competition coming up, and we hope you'll come back and join us for more archery from the World Archery Indoor Championships here in Las Vegas, Nevada. As I finally find the camera over there, Carl Archie, glad to have you with us here on YouTube. We'll be back at 15:30 for more competition at the Archery Indoor Championships in Las Vegas at the South Point Hotel and Casino. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you a little bit later on this afternoon. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.